Easy to grab, easy to share, and always a family favorite. Make Tastykake part of your summer. Tastykake. Accept no substitutes.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
The U.S. and Iran to finalize a peace deal. Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran has agreed to allow international nuclear inspectors into the country. The U.S. has also issued a 60-day waiver on sanctions of Iranian oil. ABC's Olivia Rubin says that's caused by partisan backlash.
The State Department issuing that waiver means essentially that Iran is now free to sell that oil, and it's a move that makes good on one of the promises President Trump gave Iran in that MOU. And it is part of the criticism that President Trump has faced because of this deal, including from some within his own party, because it's going to allow Iran to essentially start making billions of dollars immediately.
More fallout over the multi-million-dollar renovation project of the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says President Trump is blaming vandalism for the peeling blue paint and algae.
The company that applied the coating says it identified some areas of the pool that require repairs and confirmed that it will need to be drained. That company, along with a water purification business that's owned by a longtime donor to President Trump, bypassed the traditional bidding process that's typically used to do work on national parks.
Clive Davis, credited for discovering some of the greatest musicians and singers over the past 60 years, has passed away today.
Clive Davis died from an age-related illness, according to a statement from his family. Seen as one of the most influential music producers in history, Davis got his start in the industry as a lawyer at Columbia Records. Eventually coming to shepherd the careers of music greats like Whitney Houston, Bruce Springsteen, and Simon & Garfunkel. Clive Davis was 94. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Springsteen, who says at the age of 22, Davis changed his life, signing him to Columbia Records. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the secret war on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
After a close call between two aircraft at Boston's Logan International Airport, federal investigators are now trying to find out what happened before a Delta flight had to abort its landing. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
A spokesperson from Flight Radar 24 telling us that Delta was about 500 feet above the departing American flight as it crossed that runway. So listen to some of the ATC audio.
American 3161, where are you going? You cleared us for takeoff, 3161.
And the FAA telling us in a statement that the crew of the Delta flight executed a go-around at Boston Logan because another aircraft was departing from an intersecting runway.
In central Utah, evacuations is still in effect due to the fast-moving wildfire. Details from ABC's Melissa Adon.
The Iron Fire, the biggest of 11 wildfires across the state, fueled by high winds, heat, and dry conditions, burning more than 22,000 acres southwest of Provo. The flames erupting Friday, growing rapidly over the weekend as firefighters struggled to contain it.
It's just real sad. They rode and off-roaded in these mountains and a lot of memories, and they're all pretty much just gone, burned up.
Health and Human Services says the 42-day quarantine period has ended for 18 Americans exposed to hantavirus on a cruise ship, adding no sustained transmission of the virus was identified in the U.S. The majority of American passengers were in quarantine at the national facility in Nebraska, 2 others in Georgia. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Weather sponsored by Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union.
Will be a chance for some strong to severe storms late in the day with a high 85. For tonight, showers and a possible thunderstorm. Some heavy rain likely with a low near 70. And then for Tuesday, partly and mostly cloudy skies continue. Chance for a few showers with a high near 80.
Better banking starts with Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union. Enjoy early pay and free fraud and credit monitoring. Take control of your finances. Smarter banking designed for real life. Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union. Visit fmfcu.org/betterbanking. Membership eligibility applies. Federally insured by NCUA.
Picture streams in our community. That's where our kids play and dogs splash. And some of these streams provide the water we drink. But is the water in these streams clean and safe? The truth is, for most local streams, no one knows. That's a problem. One the Isaac Walton League can help you solve with the Clean Water Challenge. For almost 50 years, the Isaac Walton League of America has helped people just like you test the water in local streams, clean up pollution, and protect healthy waters. Today, the Isaac Walton League has an ambitious new goal: engage volunteers across the country to test 100,000 more streams for pollution. You can protect clean water in our community by joining the Clean Water Challenge. To get involved, visit iwla.org. That's iwla.org.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
Well, welcome. Happy Monday to everybody. I'm Mary Walter. I'm back with you, sitting in here in the seat on 1210 WPHT. Not with you tomorrow, but I am back Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So back in for tomorrow's a crazy day for me. I have a crazy day tomorrow. I'll get my schedule, but I'm on Newsmax 3 times tomorrow. So yeah, gonna be a little crazy. And my live cast is tomorrow with our guest, Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor. He will be joining the live cast tomorrow night. And you can join us 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Just look for Mary Walter Radio on Rumble, YouTube, and Getter. And you can join us along with so many people that you know from the PHT live stream on YouTube. All right. You will see so many names that you know. You guys are amazing. And Suze is incredible. She has been pulling everybody over and has really been a cheerleader for it. And I really appreciate that. The audio is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. All right, you're welcome to join me. There's a lot of different things that we're going to talk about today. Some fun, some a little bit more serious, but we have a lot to get to. You can join in. I love it when you join in. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. We just need to be adults. You need to be nice. You need to be polite. Don't talk over me. I won't talk over you. No swearing. All right, pretend you're at your mom's house, although I don't want to say that because I know the way some people speak with their parents, and I'm like, well, that's not good. Pretend you're at your grandma's house. How's that? All right, what she would say to grandma, okay? The number is 855-839-1210. And again, Mary Walter Radio on X if you want to tag me in a post. All right, so gentlemen, let's get cuts 1, 2, 3, and 4 ready. All right, those are the ones we're going to go through first. I figure that's easy because it's in order, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, so a lot happened with Iran over the weekend between Friday and today. It was like they're in, they're out, they're up, they're down, they went home, no, they're back, no, we're making progress, no, we're not. It was crazy. And I was hoping to have somebody to decode it for us, but we don't have anybody to decode it for us. So you're just going to have to follow the bouncing ball with me. And I will do my best to present it to you in order, okay? Because I like to prepare for these unforeseen circumstances should they arise, like this. And so I think I've got it down. So this memorandum of understanding, what everybody needs to understand, this memorandum of understanding, it's not a final agreement. And everyone's screaming, oh my gosh, taxpayers are going to give them $300 billion. No. And a lot of it was leaked. None of it was made public. It was all leaked. And there were different versions leaked. And Iran was leaking some stuff, right? Like to just muddy the waters and make Trump look bad, right? So Iran's doing that. And they don't need a lot of help because they've got our propagandists known as mainstream media. They got them going on, just to pick up the ball and run with it and go, oh my gosh, Trump's a liar, because they hate him so much. They'd rather see the deal fail. They'd rather see Trump fail and hence America fail than to actually get a win and maybe get some peace. So once the memorandum of understanding was signed, it gives 60 days to finalize a deal. So all the stuff we were hearing about money that's going to Iran and Trump broke his promise, he's a liar, none of that. None of it. They give 60 days to figure it out with this memorandum of understanding. So the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and senior Iranian officials arrived yesterday, in Switzerland. It is Monday, right? Yeah. To start negotiations formally. And that they wanted to get an end to the war, and they're negotiating what that's going to look like. What is that agreement going to look like? So the terms that both sides agree to, and they have 60 days to do it. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner are also reportedly part of the delegation in Switzerland. The sticking points include whether Tehran will agree to wind down their nuclear enrichment program, which we know Trump wants that done. He does not want them to be able to get a nuclear weapon. Keeping open the Strait of Hormuz and stopping the fighting in southern Lebanon between Israel and Hezbollah, which is an Iran proxy. So it's kind of like Israel and Iran, which we're kind of not involved in, but we're kind of involved in because it's Iran. They're a proxy of Iran. So they're just like another branch. They're like Iran's ugly cousins, all right? And so they're part of the family, so that has to end. So I want to start off with cut 1. This is Vance in Switzerland, all right, talking about the meeting.
A historic meeting. Never before, outside of Islamabad and here, so outside the last few months, never before has the Iranian and American leadership met at such a high level. What the president has asked us to do is turn over a new leaf, to transform our relationship with the people of Iran and to extend an outstretched hand that says to the people of Iran that if your leadership is willing to give up being a driver of regional instability, if they are willing to give up nuclear weapons ambitions for the long term, then the United States is willing to fundamentally transform our relationship with that country. That is certainly our goal. We've already made great progress over just the last few hours, and I expect that we'll make additional progress in the hours to come. Thank you all.
There you go. So he's saying, look, this is what we're doing. He was there with the president. I think it's the president of Iran, because they have the Ayatollah, who's the supreme leader, but they also have a president who's really a puppet of the Ayatollahs, as we all know. So on Saturday, Iran's consulate general in India, all right, because they're negotiating through India. They're in India, I think, and they're negotiating with Pakistan, but that doesn't make sense because Pakistan wouldn't be in India. All right, well, that's one of those questions that we'll figure it out. Iran's consulate general in India, so maybe that's their consulate there, wrote on X Saturday that they're going to close, they have plans to close the Strait of Hormuz because they're saying the ceasefire was broken. And this is because of what was going on in Lebanon between Israel and Hezbollah. All right. This is in response to the continuous violations of the ceasefire in southern Lebanon and will come as the first step as a response to the enemy's breach of promise. Now, Israel did not sign on to this MOU. Neither did Hezbollah. But Hezbollah, as I said, is part of Iran. And so by Iran signing on, they also are bound by this, one would think. I don't know, but I would think. But Israel's a different country from us. Yes, we are allies, but we don't speak for them and they don't speak for us. And Trump does try to control what happens with them, but he can't control them. It's their neighborhood. We don't live there. It's their neighborhood, and I'm a big fan of let the people in the neighborhood clean up the bully. Let the people in the neighborhood get rid of the guy. You guys all get together, form an HOA, also known as the Abraham Accords, right? We could look at the Abraham Accords as an HOA for the Middle East. You all sign on to it, and you all got to agree to those rules. And when someone like Iran decides they want to paint their house purple, everybody else in the HOA can go after them. So they took umbrage with with Israel. Why do I keep saying Iran? Israel going after Hezbollah in Lebanon. In southern Lebanon. And they said this is a first step as a response to the enemy's breach of promise. And if the aggression continues, further steps will be planned and taken. And Iran did not provide a timeline for the planned closure. All right. As I said, Israel did not sign the MOU. So, and neither did Hezbollah, but again, part of Iran. But they just keep going back and forth at each other. All right. So Donald Trump gets really mad. He's really mad. And on Saturday, he responds to reports about Iran's intent to close the strait. And Vance said he also was skeptical of claims. The president wrote on Truth Social, and some of this is in capital letters, big giant capital letters. There will be no tolls in the Hormuz Strait for 60 days during the ceasefire period, because Iran said, we're going to charge tolls too. And there will be no tolls after the 60-day period has expired unless they are imposed by and for the United States of America, should the deal not be completed, for services rendered as the guardian angel to the countries of the Middle East for purposes of both past, present, and future reimbursement of costs. So in other words, if you guys can't get your act together and you keep this up, we'll control the Strait of Hormuz and we're going to charge tolls, and that's the repayment for us wasting our time and treasure in order to try to get you guys to make peace. So I kind of like that. In a statement Saturday morning, CENTCOM wrote, safe passage through the international waterway remained intact today as 55 merchant ships transited, moving large amounts of cargo and more than 17 million barrels of oil to global markets. And the president says consistently that the end of the war, you got to keep the strait open. So that's the only way this can be. And the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, said yesterday that the flow of tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz is actually getting back towards normal, a more normal flow. He also spoke a day after officials signaled that they would be closing the waterway. So they did that on Saturday. This is on Sunday. And he's saying, well, 67 ships went through the strait on Saturday, which is an increase of 55 on Friday. And the U.S. military is escorting them through. So, yeah, if anybody's going to charge a toll, you're going to charge for the military escort of the United States. And, what's going to happen is people are going to be tired of having to pay for protection, basically protection money, to get through the Strait of Hormuz. And what Trump's doing is smart. He's putting pressure. He's kind of peer pressuring everyone in the neighborhood to get Iran in line, to pressure them to get in line and stay in line. That's what he's doing, which I think is great. Now, I want to go to cut 2. This is a little bit longer. This is Trey Yingst. President Trump apparently calls Trey Yingst all the time now. And it's so funny because every time I see Trey Yingst, I hope they pay this man a lot of money and they have a great insurance policy on this dude. You see, he's got a helmet on and like a flak jacket. There's like bombs exploding. He's like, We gotta go. We gotta get in the shelter. And like, then he's gone. And he's unflappable. And he stands there with his handheld microphone and he's doing his things. And Trump apparently just calls him at all hours, whatever. And he has like a 30-minute phone call with President Trump. So he had a phone call with President Trump. So this is part of it. It's not the whole thing, but this is him recounting what President Trump said he told the Iranian officials about closing the Strait of Hormuz. This is cut 2. This is Trey Yingst, again, recounting that phone call.
Iranian regime. President Trump telling Fox News that the U.S. may take over the strait in the future if they have to and collect tolls. The president described this as the United States being the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and the Middle East. And the president said ultimately that would involve the U.S. taking 20% of the oil that passes through the strait. Remember, this comes in reaction to the Iranians saying they will close the Strait of Hormuz in response to Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. President Trump tells Fox News he spoke with Iranian officials overnight and said, you close it and you won't have a country. He went on to tell these officials, you won't even make it back to your effing country. Now, earlier today, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian said this about Iranian enrichment of uranium. The president also reacting to that. Take a listen.
We will not give up our right to enrichment. And they, too, will be forced to accept it. You all know what the so-called President of the United States was saying. He had made a complete 100-degree turn. He was saying that Iran must surrender unconditionally. Iran has no right to do this. It has no right to do that.
President Trump, during our call, responded directly to those comments by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. President Trump told Fox News he better watch his mouth, he better shape up, or we'll take over the rest of the country. And so clearly the president reacting directly to these comments from Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian. And also President Trump talked about the broader memorandum of understanding, indicating this is just a ceasefire extension. This is not the final deal with the Iranian regime. And the president says he holds the cards and maintains a variety of options if the Iranians don't make these serious commitments at the negotiating table. He said, I have a 60-day option and I can do whatever I want after that option. So again, President Trump leaving a variety of considerations on the table and says that the United States could become the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and collect tolls itself while taking oil, around 20%, the president says. As it relates to oil, President Trump also said that 19 million barrels of crude oil exited the Persian Gulf yesterday as a result of this memorandum of understanding with the Iranians. Guys.
All right, there you go. 20-minute phone call with President Trump about something like this has to be hilarious. I would love to hear that. I just would love to hear it. So now you also know this is partially because also on Sunday, the Iranian negotiators walked out. They were all mad. So they walked out of the peace talks. This was Sunday. It was on Sunday. So now we're on Sunday. So they walked out of the peace talks. And that's what prompted President Trump's phone call to Trey Yingst. After just 80 minutes, they entered a difficult phase following an insulting message by the U.S. president. You heard what he told the leaders. You won't even make it back to your country. He uses a lot of F-bombs because he's from Queens, so he uses a lot of them. You close it and you won't have a country. We may take over the strait if we have to. I'll blow the blank out of them. And on Truth Social, he wrote, with a lot of exclamation points and a lot of capital letters, he wrote, Iran must immediately stop their highly paid proxies in Lebanon from causing trouble. If they don't, we'll hit Iran very hard again, just like we did last week, only harder. And this needs to happen because they've got to wipe out Hezbollah. Hezbollah is paid by Iran. Iran doesn't have a lot of money. They're not going to be able to pay Hezbollah. So Hezbollah now is just acting out, I guess, like a child trying to destroy Israel, because that's their sole reason for existence, is to destroy Israel and the United States. So, and you heard about Mohammad Ghalib, who's the head of the Iranian parliament. He said they had better watch their statements. Our armed forces are ready to respond in another way. Whatever they say, we are the ones who will act. A senior U.S. diplomat, though, insisted that the peace talks remain ongoing, which we now know they do remain ongoing, which is great. The Iranian delegation is still at the negotiating venue. The U.S. delegation expects to continue working through the night, the official said. And he added that discussions have included clarifying some of the confusing messaging from Iran on the Strait and building deconfliction mechanisms to ensure that the Strait will remain fully open. We also have to work. We have also worked through deconfliction mechanisms, whatever the heck they are. Anyway, regarding Lebanon. So that's another part of this. Like Lebanon is like that. Lebanon's like the zit on prom night. You know what I mean? Like it's like the night before the prom. You got, now you're like, oh, now I got that to deal with. That wasn't invited to the party, and yet here it is. But it's part of my face, so I have to deal with it, and it's going to go to the prom. So that's what Hezbollah is to Iran at this point in the game. That was a very good analogy, Mary. Why, thank you. It was. If you want to jump in, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210, or feel free to tag me in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio with no S. All right, not done. I've got more on Israel. I've got more on Iran, and I've got more coming up. What's his name? Oh, Lindsey Graham. I got something from Lindsey Graham too, and I think he was wrong. Lindsey Graham, I don't know. Trump loves him. I don't trust that guy. There's something about Lindsey Graham that makes you go, this guy plays both sides of the fence. Not my, I don't know. Anyway, I've got something from him as well. So if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome. We have no guests this show, so it's just us. So you are more than welcome to jump in. Love to hear from you. 855-839-1210. I'm Mary Walter, and you're listening to 1210 WPHT.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, certified financial planner, and the host of the Jill on Money podcast. Beginning, middle, or end of the year, it's always a great time to take control of your financial life. And the Jill on Money podcast is here to help. Your questions make it possible for me to provide unconventional and entertaining insights on your money, and more importantly, on your life. Follow and listen to Jill on Money wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
The biggest worries for CEOs are cyber threats, geopolitical instability, and artificial intelligence, according to the Conference Board's CEO Confidence Survey. 2 out of 3 CEOs ranked cybersecurity as a high-impact concern in the second quarter, up from a little more than half in the first quarter. Concerns related to AI and emerging technologies declined slightly to 57%. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples. That was easy.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hey, welcome back. It's Monday. Happy Monday. It's weird. It doesn't feel like Monday to me because my husband worked this weekend. So when he works, like I work and I do stuff and, it's like a regular day for me. I get up, I work out, I, do stuff around the house. And so doesn't feel like Monday. I'm having a very hard time with it. Is this what happens when you get retired? Like, is this what happens when you retire? Do you lose track of time? Because I know, like, my aunt and uncle, they totally forgot what life was like before they retired. They couldn't understand why we just couldn't pop home, from work to just go to lunch with them. Like they could never remember what day it was. Is that what happens? I mean, I'm willing to find out. I'm kind of psyched to looking forward to finding out. But anyway, I had to keep reminding myself that it's Monday. Anyway, we're talking about Iran, 855-839-1210. And Luke from Cherry Hill is joining me. Luke, you can be my guest for the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'll stay on the whole time. That would be great.
Okay, cool.
Hey, which body of water do you think President Trump screwed up worse? The Strait of Hormuz or the reflection pool? I think he butchered both pretty badly.
You know what? To be fair, there's been sabotage in both, so it's a good analogy.
You actually believe that? How dumb are you?
Your problem. Let me guess. Hold on. Let's not get rid of him yet. Just mute him for a second. But let's look at this, shall we? I had a guest on my podcast on Tuesday, and her name is Dr. Carol Lieberman, and we went over the signs and symptoms of TDS and why certain people get TDS. And one of the signs of TDS is elitism, thinking you're the smartest person and that anyone who disagrees with you or has a different view than you is less than. And that's what I think we're hearing here with quote unquote Luke, who's obviously not his real name. He thinks he's smarter because I disagree with him. So he therefore must be smarter than me. And what comes along with that insecurity is insecure that maybe I'm right. So he calls me a name. So here's a perfect example of exactly what Dr. Carol Lieberman was talking about on the live cast. So all of you who are here on the 1210 WPHT live stream on YouTube, what you just heard, we talked about. So go to YouTube, Getter, Rumble, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or Spreaker. Look for Mary Walter Radio. It was a fascinating conversation. They're actually looking, and she prepared the three stages. There's like three classifications of TDS. And she went through, like, men who have TDS usually are insecure men. They don't like Trump because he's more masculine than they are. They're insecure. So he had to come on and call me, a woman, a name. They also tend to be misogynist, especially if a woman's secure. So, Luke, thank you so much for illustrating perfectly what my podcast was about on Tuesday. And I could plug it because of it. So thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciated that. You hear it all the time. They think that it's Gary. It was really Gary, or that's what he uses on YouTube. But when you have to call someone a name because you disagree with them and try to demean them, it says you're insecure. So probably also single, just a hunch, or his wife's more manly than he. Anyway, so Israel in southern Lebanon did say that they have eliminated 2 Hamas operatives tied to major funding of the network. They also claim that they found a drone factory as well in Lebanon. Lebanon clearly does not have control of their entire country. Clearly. Oh, by the way, Luke, Gary, whatever your name is, if you want to call up again and go for round 2, I'm more than happy to mock you again. So, there you go. The operatives had been identified as Hussein Quadra and Mohammed Farah. They were reportedly killed in Gaza in a June strike, and the amount of money transferred is roughly equal to $170 million. They are the 2 operatives in the military wings of Hamas and Islamic Jihad, and they have facilitated altogether more than $500 million shekels to Hamas, which is about $170 million. Quad and Farah led the financial network and acted under Hamas leadership, according to a report from Reuters. So, there you go. So good for Israel. Listen, these things have to be done. So, and it was not Gary. Sorry, Gary. I said it was you. Sorry. My bad. It wasn't Gary. Apologies. All right, let's continue. So let's go to Lindsey Graham, who, as I said, I kind of like him, but I kind of don't like him. I don't trust him. He gives me the ick sometimes, not like an Eric Swalwell ick. Like Eric Swalwell's the poster child for ick, not that kind of ick, but like I don't trust him ick. It's a different ick. It's not the ick. It's a milder form of it, but like I don't trust Lindsey Graham. And Trump says, oh, he's such a great friend, and we go golfing all the time. And I know Trump's a good judge of character, but anyway, so he predicts that this memorandum of understanding is going to collapse. Let's go to cut 3, and here's Lindsey Graham. He was on Face the Nation on Sunday. So he was on Face the Nation, and he said he spent 4.5 hours with Trump on Friday, and this is what he told CBS.
I spent 4.5 hours with President Trump Friday. Here's what I think will happen next. If this deal fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz over by force. The United States will control the Strait of Hormuz. We'll charge a fee for all those who go through to pay for the operation. And we're going to expand the Abraham Accords in calendar year 2026. We're going to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords, and which is the biggest change in 5,000 years in the Mideast. And if Iran contests control of the Strait of Hormuz by the United States, we will obliterate them. So to all the people listening, if this diplomatic effort fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
We're going to run it. We're going to try to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords to end the Arab-Israeli conflict in 2026. And if Iran continues to attack Israel and Lebanon, the new policy will be we'll hit Iran. So to the Iranians, if you're listening, when you use Hezbollah to attack Israel, I think the new policy will be we will attack Iran.
There you go. That's what we're going to do. Now, again, I don't know what Lindsey Graham knows or doesn't know, but I kind of think, like, just because you talk to President Trump doesn't mean that you necessarily know everything, right? You just don't. So I do want to get to a little bit of J.D. Vance, and Justin, back in my good graces, did get some J.D. Vance on the tarmac, but let's go to cut 4 first, because this is from Fox. This is some progress has been made, and J.D. Vance, I believe, is also talking about it here.
As diplomat involved in the talks told Fox News some of the discussion was focused on clarifying the confusing messaging on the Strait of Hormuz to ensure it will remain open, adding that robust discussions on all elements of the nuclear deal are ongoing. This morning, Vice President J.D. Vance said the U.S. along with Qatar will have some oversight over the unfrozen Iranian funds, and that some could go to purchasing U.S. farm goods. He also made a major announcement on access to Iran's nuclear program.
This is probably what we're most excited about as Americans. The Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. That's exactly what we asked to happen.
There you go.
The Iranians also
No, keep going. That's fine.
acknowledge major progress in the talks, adding that a deconfliction cell for Lebanon will be the first real test of the understanding. Israel and Hezbollah did not trade fire on Sunday for the first time since March 2nd, according to the UN. In response, Israel lifted all restrictions for civilians in the northern part of their country. In a call with Fox News on Sunday, President Trump said he was disappointed Israel can't put Hezbollah away. The leader of
All right, I think that's it. All right, so that clearly was not J.D. Vance. That was Trey Yingst, so that was my bad. But they can't put Hezbollah. So Israel and Hezbollah coming to some sort of a little bit of a ceasefire, which is good. Now, let's go to J.D. Vance talking on the runway. I hate the runway interviews because it's so loud. It's so hard to hear. But we do have J.D. Vance. Justin getting 2 cuts for J.D. Vance on the runway talking about the MOU negotiations that are happening and the progress they're making.
Well, again, I feel great about the progress that we made over the last couple of days. We're looking forward to going back home. It's been a very long day. I know the reporters had a long day as well, so I appreciate you guys. But look, the fundamental thing we got is, number one, we set up the mechanism to ensure not only the Straits of Hormuz are open, but will stay open. We think about 15 million barrels of oil come out. That's one of the reasons why oil is so low right now. Obviously, that means lower gas prices, and gas prices are going to keep coming down. Number two, we actually set up the right mechanism to ensure the regional ceasefire to manage the inevitable conflicts that will come up. We feel great about that. We're working with our allies from the Israelis to the Gulf Arabs to make sure that sticks, and we feel very, very good about where that is. We have the Iranians allowing weapons inspectors, nuclear inspectors into their country for the first time in a long time. We're obviously going to bolster that inspection regime to make sure they can never have a nuclear weapon. And finally, we continue to make progress on these technical negotiations. We left a lot of our team. The Iranians left a lot of their team at the resort there to keep on working at it. So all in all, a very productive 36 hours. We're going to have to keep working it. The last point that I'll make is, as I told you all this morning, this is laying a foundation for what could be a truly transformed Middle East. But we haven't built the house yet. We're going to have to keep on building, and that's what we'll do.
All right. So it sounds good. So he's heading home, which leaves Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner there. We know that they're still there. And the whole thing with the IAEA, which is the International Atomic Energy Agency, remember under Obama, he goes, oh, yeah, well, they can't do this. They're going to have inspections. Part of that agreement was that the Iranians had to be given, I think, something like 24 or 48 hours notice before the inspectors came in. So give them enough time to move stuff and shut stuff down and hide stuff. They couldn't just walk in and have inspections. They had to be notified first. They had to give notice. So they were useless. They were useless inspections because they had a chance to clean it up, right? It's like when I was in college and we were renting an apartment, the landlord, every now and then wanted to come in to see how many people were really living in the apartment. And we were girls, so of course we didn't have anybody extra. But they had, by according to our lease, they had to give us 24 hours. So we just made sure to clean it up so it didn't look messy. But that's all we did was clean. But it gave us notice. It wasn't a surprise inspection. So when you're coming in, when the IAEA is coming in, and they have to give 24 to 48 hours notice, or however much it was under the Obama administration, it was useless. I think there's a second cut, right, Justin? There's more of J.D. Vance? Okay, let's go to this. Next one.
These negotiations that you believe that people are not always acting in good faith. Have things changed over the past 36 hours during your meeting with Iran and the other mediaries?
No, all I mean is, look, whether good faith or bad faith, you can't trust anybody's words. You have to trust what they actually do. Letting in the inspectors is a big deal, but again, we're going to see what they actually let the inspectors do once they're in the country. That's going to continually be a part of our negotiation. So my point is not that I trust or distrust anybody. My point is that I trust actions. And what the president has asked us to do is verify what they're doing, focus less on what they're saying.
Right. And anybody knows that if you've ever dated, whichever side you're a man, woman, whatever it is you're looking for, they can tell you anything they want to tell you, but their actions speak louder than words, right? Like, okay, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, but I'm going to watch your actions. What is it? Listen to half of what someone says, but watch 100% of what they do. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I think that's good. Listen, I am not a Middle Eastern expert, as we all know from this conversation, and most of us aren't. And we just have to go with what we're being told and what we're seeing, and go from there, because none of us are experts. Along those lines, there is a poll I want to go over with you, because these polls crack me up. Because again, nobody's an expert, but yet everybody's got an opinion. So we're going to talk about that. Also, lots of breaking news coming up that I'm going to get into as well as we go along here, right? Because we could do whatever we want because we don't have guests scheduled, so we can kind of free for all it here. So that's what we're going to do. It's a Monday. Why not? And I'm not here tomorrow, so somebody else can clean up the mess. I'll try to find out who's in tomorrow and I'll let you know. All right, I'm Mary Walter. You're listening to 1210 WPHT.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. They still gave me a medal. I don't want a reward for doing. I want a reward for dominating. Like daily prize match on Bet365. I play for free and win real rewards, like up to $5,000 in cash weekly. Unlike that joker in denim. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply.
Hi, welcome to Bucks County Estate Traders.
Hi, we need to fill a big space on our wall.
Something that says, wow.
Oh, of course. Our showroom is full of all styles of artwork and decor pieces. And some of our items have even been featured on the big screen and in TV shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty cool, right? So when you're looking for a stunning piece of art, Bucks County Estate Traders has the selection and variety.
And I see your inventory is online.
Oh, it sure is. Along with the size and price, so you can measure the space and browse at your leisure. It's all at BucksCountyEstateTraders.com.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are the top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after Monogram appliances. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in the most magnificent homes and the kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
The Friends and Family Savings Event is underway at National Appliance Warehouse. Elevate everything and save on Monogram appliances. Featuring sophisticated luxury and understated durability, you'll love expertly engineered and purposefully designed Monogram appliances. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
Your local volunteer fire department routinely answers the call, whether it be a fire, traffic accident, or a cat stuck in a tree. But because of declines in memberships, departments have become understaffed. Your local volunteer fire department desperately needs you. Can you direct traffic, install a smoke alarm, help at a fundraiser? No matter what skills you have, you can make a difference. You don't have to fight fire to be a volunteer. Will you answer the call? For more information on how you can help, visit the Volunteer Firefighter Alliance at supportvfa.org.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Sir, you mentioned positions for the Iranians using these frozen funds.
Sure.
To buy American soy, for example. You mentioned, is that something that was raised yesterday that they've already agreed to? The Iranians have already agreed to that?
Yeah, that was something that came up yesterday, and we actually asked the Qataris to help us set up the mechanism so that we can ensure that the money goes where we want it to go, and they agreed to do that. We have a good relationship, obviously, with them and a good operational oversight mechanism in place. But even with that said, even with the caveat that's going to benefit American farmers and obviously benefit the people of Iran, we want both. But fundamentally, that money is not going to be unfrozen unless we continue to see progress. And that'll obviously be a big part of the negotiation in the days to come.
All right. So they're going to some of the money that is going to be unfrozen. They have to make certain benchmarks in order to get money, as opposed to just putting the money on pallets and flying it over under cover of darkness and not telling Congress about it. Like we're going to do it a little differently this time. They're going to, they've got to reach these benchmarks and making deals that, okay, some of that money, though, you're going to do business with American farmers because we're helping you rebuild. So you're going to do business with American farmers. So we're going to get something out of this deal, too. You will get produce and food to feed your people. And our farmers will benefit from this money. So it's their money. It's their money that we've had for a long time, but it will be conditional, and it will be benefit. It will benefit us too. So I think that that's all good. I think that's good. And by the way, clarification, just so you know, tomorrow Sean Farish is in, but I am in for Dom on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I knew it was back here, but I had the wrong. I would have been here late. That would have been terrible. So I'm on noon to 3 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here on WPHT. So, and I'll also give you my Newsmax schedule for tomorrow, which is insane. If you're bored and you want to throw things at your TV. All right, let me talk about this. So I said, like, nobody really knows what we're really talking about. Like, and there's people who are on X. This one guy, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he was normal before, and he gets very spun up with Trump, and he's a Trumper. I mean, he voted for Trump, and he's like, he's lying, and he gets very spun up. And I said to him, I go, all this is just leaked stuff. You're just, something you're referring to right now was leaked by the Iranians. You believe the Iranian press now? Like, what is with you? And he's like, I need to take a break from social media. I'm like, yeah, you do, dude. You're getting way too spun up. So people are way too spun up about all of this. So CBS News and YouGov did a poll to ask people of something which they know absolutely nothing about. And they asked people, it was a super simple question, very baseline, and they asked them, the conflict with Iran, what should the U.S. do now? So they said, what do you want the U.S. to do? So, of course, 78% said we should end the conflict right now. 22% said it can go until Iran gives up more. Now, to me, that's obviously a very tilted question. It's a very biased question because nobody wants war, right? And I still call it a conflict, just for the record. Nobody wants that. So of course you want it to end. But if they had asked, well, do you want Iran to have a nuclear weapon? That would have been a different answer. I think you would have seen a different response then. So it's a very, very stilted question, I think. 60% of all Republicans said the nation should end the conflict now. 56% of MAGA Republicans agreed. And it's interesting that these poll companies are now like differentiating between Republicans and MAGA Republicans. Did you notice? They're separating them into two groups, which I thought was interesting. 40% of Republicans said the nation should continue the conflict until Iran gives up more. 44% of MAGA Republicans agreed. The sample was weighted to be representative of adults nationwide according to gender, age, race. Well, gender, then you had to have 46 different categories for that. But I just thought it was super interesting, and it made me laugh just because, like I said, we don't know, and it changes daily. You heard Lindsey Graham talk about, oh yeah, I know what's happening, I know what's going on because I spent 4.5 hours with Donald Trump yesterday. Okay, well, bully for you, but you also said that the memorandum of understanding was going to totally implode, and the next thing you know, 24 hours later, J.D. Vance is on the tarmac coming home, and he left Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and others over there, and he's on his way home going, yeah, things are going great. So you can't really answer these questions, and it just tickles me when I see these people on X who go from being, experts on the Middle East and Iran to now they're all pool experts. They're all, well, I own a pool company, so I know exactly what's going on, what they're reflecting upon. I'm like, no, you don't. It's so funny. X is a wonderful place. You could be an expert in absolutely anything. That's why most people have anonymous accounts. They don't have their picture. They have anonymous accounts, the whole bit. And so I just find the whole thing absolutely hilarious. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about Obama's library. But in the meantime, before we get there, today we have a very auspicious occasion coming up because July 4th, Teddy Roosevelt's presidential library is finally opening. He's been dead for 107 years. I had no idea. The Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library is set to open July 4th at Medora, North Dakota. It's in the Badlands area where he lived before he went to the White House. It's a 96,000 square foot library. They said they wanted something that just felt primitive, like it was formed emerging from the earth, and it felt like it just arrived from the earth. I don't know what it looks like. Who knows? It can't be as bad as Obama's, right? It can't be like the Death Star. As you know, Roosevelt was a native New Yorker, but he moved to the North Dakota at the time as a territory in 1884 to grieve the death of his wife and mother, who died on the same day, on Valentine's Day, the same year. And he spent 2 years working as a cowboy. It cost $450 million, and it's next to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. And they took possession of a statue of Roosevelt that was removed in 22 from outside the American Museum of Natural History in New York because leftists are insane. So they said, we'll take it for free. Great. Sounds good. So 107 years, this man finally gets his presidential library. We'll talk about Obama's presidential library coming up next here on 1210 WPHT.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Air conditioner, oh air conditioner, will you make it through the summer? If you don't, it'll be a bummer. Start your spring off right. We got huge rebates if that budget's tight. This is Jonathan Cans, and I am not a poet. I am, however, the third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. We are the mainline's oldest family-owned HVAC company, and we are not private equity-owned. But we are experts in rebates, big ones. And right now, there are up to $2,300 in rebates available. Contact us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekанze.com.
Mark our nation's 250 years of resilience by building your financial strength. Open a First Harvest Credit Union growth savings account and earn up to 3% annual percentage yield with just a $1,000 minimum balance. And the best part? No withdrawal penalties. Your money is always there when you need it. Want even more ways to save? Check out our share and IRA certificates. Visit firstharvestcu.com/growth savings or stop by a branch today. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
The Working Families of La Una Labor District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Iran and the U.S. signaling that talks are advancing on a permanent peace deal following the first round of negotiations in Switzerland. Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran agreeing to let international nuclear inspectors back into the country. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge is in Lucerne.
Those inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency were already very much part of the verification process. So, I mean, it's not an additional win by the Trump administration in terms of these negotiations. And the Vice President was very clear. He conceded that, there is still a long way to go.
In Qatar, officials say 13 people are dead and at least 66 injured following reports of an explosion at a factory in Ras Laffan. The Interior Ministry says the incident occurred due to a technical malfunction during operations. Less than 2 weeks before July 4th festivities marking America's 250th birthday, problems persist with the multi-million-dollar renovation of the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Scholze.
Just 2 weeks after President Trump completed his more than $16 million renovation of the iconic reflecting pool, he now says it will need to be drained and repaired immediately. Last week, pieces of that new coating that the president applied to describe as an American flag blue color began peeling off. Trump now claims that vandalism is to blame, but he's provided no evidence to prove it.
Tributes are coming in for legendary music producer Clive Davis following his death today. He is credited for discovering music icons, including Aretha Franklin and Whitney Houston, along with Barry Manilow and Billy Joel. Davis, in a 2011 interview, remained humble when asked about his so-called Midas touch for finding and nurturing huge stars.
I never knew I had them. I never knew this was going to turn out to be a talent or a gift. It was a pure accident. It was a lucky break.
Davis was 94 years old. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the secret war on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer announcing today he's resigning following pressure within his own party to step down. He'll stay on as Prime Minister until elections are held in July. ABC's James Longman is outside 10 Downing with more.
He made it clear he was very proud of his track record in office, but really Keir Starmer, what he did there was cast himself as someone who got Labour re-elected, electable again after so many years in opposition with an enormous landslide. Clearly very, very proud of that. And he says with good grace he's decided to hear what the Labour Party is saying and they want him to leave.
Andy Burnham, who is seen as a top candidate to replace Starmer, sworn in today as MP for Makerfield. Former Federal Reserve Chair Alan Greenspan has died.
Appointed by Ronald Reagan, Alan Greenspan knew the global economy was changing, as he once told Congress.
It's becoming increasingly conceptual and less physical, more services and less physical goods.
Greenspan oversaw a period of unprecedented prosperity through the 1990s, but his policies were later blamed for contributing to the housing crisis and global recession of 2008.
ABC's
Brian Clark,
Brian
ABC
Clark.
News.
Greenspan was 100 years old. His wife, Andrea Mitchell from NBC, says he died from complications of Parkinson's. In Southern California, fire crews continue to battle flare-ups of the massive warehouse fire in Boyle Heights in East Los Angeles. It's been burning since Wednesday. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Children who grow up in poverty are part of a destructive cycle. Childhood poverty creates adult poverty, creates childhood poverty, and on and on. At Child Fund International, we find this unacceptable. So we do all we can. In 25 countries, we are vigorously fighting poverty and improving the lives of over 11 million children and their families. Today's childhood poverty must not become tomorrow's. Learn more at childfund.org.
Tasty cake and summer just go together. Whether you're packing for family vacations, getting ready for summer camp, heading to the pool, or simply stocking up for busy days at home, Tasty Cake has the treats everyone loves. The next time you're at the grocery store, be sure to grab the baked peach pie, packed with sweet summer flavor, and the lemon cupcakes, perfect for lunch boxes, camp snacks, road trips, and family get-togethers. Easy to grab, easy to share, and always a family favorite. Make Tasty Cake part of your summer. Tasty Cake. Accept no substitutes.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
Welcome back to you. Happy Monday. Mary Walter in here. Tomorrow, Sean is in with you, and then I'm in for Dom on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I originally told you I was in on this show Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that was a lie. But thankfully, Justin said, wait, you're in? I don't have that. So I went and I checked, and I said, oh, it's not me. I'm in for Dom on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'll see you then. Don't forget my live cast tomorrow night. Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor, will be joining us. He's a really fun guy. He's really nice and super, super, super smart. So he'll be joining us. But if you want to catch Dr. Carol Lieberman, the terrorist therapist, she's great. She talked about TDS, and she's actually one of the researchers who is putting together the clinical part of classifying TDS as a diagnosable illness. And so we got into that with her. So you can find it on Rumble, YouTube, Getter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker just by looking for Mary Walter Radio. Also tomorrow, 7:05 in the morning, I will be on Newsmax on Wake Up America. Then at 9:15, I will be on News Now on N2. So just like you go to YouTube and you watch 1210 WPHT and you can leave comments and watch, you do the same thing, but you look for Newsmax 2 Live on YouTube and you can watch right there at 9:15. And on N2 in the 5 o'clock hour, I don't know, it's usually 5:15 or 5:30. I will be back on N2 on the Todd Starnes Show with my friend Kate Smith Hill. And then the live cast. I have a very busy day tomorrow. It's going to be a crazy day. We're going to go. Donald Trump is he's just signing some executive orders, and he's also talking to the press. So we've got a cut here that Justin grabbed about him talking about the Strait of Hormuz in the way only Trump can. Here he is.
I just want to say before we introduce a couple of the people, we're doing very well with respect to the Hormuz Strait. We took in more oil yesterday than has ever gone through the strait. You probably see that we have an oil gusher. The strait is totally open. You know that, and we're negotiating. We'll see how that all goes. But we have two things: we have an open strait, and we have a country that will never have a nuclear weapon. Will never, ever have a nuclear weapon. So now I'd like.
All right, they're never going to have a nuclear weapon. As this goes on, if he comes out with anything else, I'm sure Justin will let us know, and he will grab it. Because right now he's in my good graces. He was not before, and now he is. So I'm very fickle with that. But he's back in my good graces, and I love him again. All right. Also, breaking news. One of they put out that list of the most wanted for fraud. We got another one. Actually, we got two. The latest one just in the news now, news breaking just about an hour, not even an hour ago, that a fugitive accused of helping mastermind a $3.7 billion Medicare fraud scheme, one of the largest in U.S. history, he's now in American custody. They tracked him down to Turkey and flew him back to the U.S. to face charges. It was just announced, like I said, less than an hour ago. Ibrahim Khaldun Hilmi was recently detained by Turkish authorities after he fled the U.S. in May of last year. The FBI's Critical Incident Response Group flew out to Turkey, and they brought him back to the U.S. on Friday through a foreign custody transfer of custody operation. Patel sent us in a statement to Fox News Digital, said Ibrahim Khaldun Hilmi is charged with one of the biggest Medicare scams in history, allegedly orchestrating a massive $3.7 billion scheme to defraud Medicare. He's been on the run since May of 2025, but we got him. Patel credited FBI Miami, the Department of Justice, and Turkish authorities with helping secure his capture and return to the United States. That was the second high-profile return of an alleged Medicare fraud fugitive in less than a week. And think about this. We're talking billions of dollars. We're talking billions of dollars. And everybody's like, imagine how many people we could feed if we just confiscated all of Elon Musk's wealth. I'm like, yes, and you would crash the company, and then nobody would have anything, and so yay. But imagine how much we could have. Imagine what we could do if we had this money back, if you weren't paying money out of your check week after week after week to be stolen by these foreign criminals. This has got to stop. Now, for some reason, Democrats are against this. I don't understand why, but I'm sure they are because Trump's doing it. So therefore, it's got to be terrible. We just ignore it. You notice they're more concerned about algae in the reflecting pool than they are about foreigners scamming billions and billions of dollars out of your paycheck. But again, most of those people don't work, so they don't care. They're on the receiving end. You know, we're telling people that Social Security, oops, sorry, really sorry, but we kind of spent it on other stuff, and so now we don't have enough of it. Imagine how much money we would have back if we got rid of the fraud. Now, the other guy that they got, only a mere $1.2 billion. Billions of dollars. Billions. And remember, so these are billionaires that Bernie Trump hates so much. Bernie Sanders hates so much. Bernie Trump. Yeah, you know, the left, they hate billionaires. They don't hate millionaires. Remember when, I'm old enough to remember when Bernie Sanders, we used to rail about millionaires and billionaires. Now he just rails about billionaires because he's a millionaire. So now he doesn't care. So a man that the government says bilked $1.2 billion in Medicare fraud was arrested in the Philippines and extradited back to the U.S. They had a 2-year manhunt who was part of one of the most wanted fraudsters on that list. Herbert Leon Kimball was accused by federal authorities of running a $1 billion fraud scheme centered on the improper marketing and distribution of durable medical equipment from 2014 to 2019. He pleaded guilty in 2019 to multiple offenses, including conspiracy to defraud the United States, healthcare fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, making false claims, and offering kickbacks and bribes. He had all the bases covered. The scheme involved a sophisticated call center-based operation in which Kimball sought to persuade Medicare beneficiaries to request orthopedic braces for pain relief. Because then you say, oh, I need this, and they get it through them, right? Which the government says were frequently unnecessary and prescribed through telemedicine consultations that often lacked legitimate medical evaluation. The prescriptions were sold to medical equipment companies. Suppliers that were affiliated with him would ship the braces, and the companies would bill Medicare for reimbursement. So there's a lot of people in on this. There had to be a lot of money changing hands. A lot of people need to be arrested. A lot. Maybe we build a prison just for that. We can put them in the Obama library and nobody would know. Because it looks like a prison. And it's huge. And so they probably got a lot of extra space. The arrest follows another guy who was taken into custody earlier this month, Saeed Abdullah Ereg, who was accused of defrauding the federal child nutrition program. But the children, and the left doesn't care. The children, and nothing. They got nothing. Now, also, 11 illegal aliens were indicted in a $1.4 million benefit fraud scheme in Massachusetts. You know, these are only millions. That's all. Just millions. And these are all things that have been going on under more than one administration, and nobody bothered looking for it. Nobody bothered. Everybody knew about it. Nobody cared. But Doge is the worst thing in the world. Doge is what people are like, well, whatever happened to Doge? These are the things that came out of Doge. A lot of these investigations came out of it because what Doge did is they went in and they said, wait a minute, you've got all these people collecting Social Security who are 120 years old. How can that possibly be? They're on Medicare. How can that possibly be? Dead people on Medicare, dead people collecting Social Security. So people collecting in more than one state. That's what Doge did. And that's what the left was so against. And when you look at the connections, look at Minnesota, Keith Ellison, Tim Walz, you look at the people who it tends to implicate. They do look like they're implicated in this. Ilhan Omar's another one. They all seem to be from the same party, the party that was really, really against Doge. They don't want to find the waste, fraud, and abuse. And now you're starting to understand why. And none of this is being reported because the mainstream media doesn't want people aware of it. Why? Right, because they're propaganda. On June 18th, so just a couple days ago, the DOJ announced that 15 suspects, 11 illegal aliens, and 4 citizens were charged for their roles in a more than $1.4 million fraud scheme that included SNAP benefits, Massachusetts health benefits, and disability and unemployment benefits, among others. The defendants charged today stole from a number of programs, including SNAP and Mass Health, which are designed to assist U.S. citizens in need of food and health care. They allegedly stole tens of thousands of dollars each in benefits for which they are not entitled. This is according to U.S. Attorney Lee Foley. There isn't any place else in the world where you can go and be handed free food, free housing, free health care, and free monthly checks while being in the country illegally. However, it appears that if you come to Massachusetts, you can steal as many benefits as you want without fear and without any accountability. Oh, wait, Democrat-run state. The illegal aliens included, I counted up, 6 from the Dominican Republic, and one Dominican, and one from India. So I don't know where the other ones were from, but 6 DR, 1 Indian, and I don't know where the other ones were from. So, it takes work and discussions between the different agencies that are involved in this. And there's a lot of different agencies involved in all of this. And they have to work together. Look at this, a $38 million adult daycare scam busted in Brooklyn. All of these things have been operating for years. I think everybody should be outraged about this. A civic leader and well-known Brooklyn Community Board member, Pervez Siddiqui, 78 years old, was arrested along with 7 co-conspirators. They're alleged to have run a large-scale Medicaid, again, kickback and false billing scheme through 2 adult daycare centers in Brooklyn. The scam ran from 2019 through December of 2025, and the feds allege, with seniors being signed up for daycare that they rarely or never attended and then getting a cut of the Medicaid payment. So you've got Americans or immigrants in the country illegally, who knows, or American citizens saying, sure, you're going to give me money back, I'll do it. And there's plenty of American citizens who are like, I'm going to get mine, and they don't care. Marketers are going around looking for the Medicaid card. They stop people on the streets at bus stops. They go into doctors' offices. They go into the New York CHA, which is the government housing, where they know people are low income, and they ask, do you have a Medicaid card? And this is a source with knowledge of investigation told the New York Post. Siddiqui owns around 15 pharmacies in New Jersey. He's prolific in local political circles and a regular donor to Democratic campaigns, sometimes shelling out over $10,000 a pop to local candidates. Again, what does it all lead back to? It leads back to the D after the last name. Again, this is why they were so against Doge. This is why they were burning down Tesla stations, because they didn't want this found out. Shazia Bibi, also known as Shazia Watu, Abdul Aziz, Shair Ali, and their recruiter co-defendants Zabun Ahmed, Josna Begum, Saira Khatun, and Atiya Shaznaz were also involved. They paid cash bribes directly to New York Medicaid recipients to enroll at one of the 2 adult daycares, and then they never went. And they paid the recruiters kickback to refer patients while they submitted $38 million in fraudulent claims to New York Medicaid for services that were never provided. Now, this is on New York. This is on the state. But the guy who's running it is donating to Democrat politicians. So who's running these programs? Democrat politicians. So they turn a blind eye because the money is slowly making its way back into their pockets. Again, this is those who scream the loudest. That's what you got to look for. To conceal the fraud, they created fake sign-in sheets far exceeding the certificate of occupancy on certain days. So there were far more people there than were allowed to be there, according to the fake sign-in sheets. They used a Pakistani-based billing staff. They laundered the proceeds through shell companies by writing checks described as gifts, dividends, or medicine, or ayadu, which is an Indian word for sweets. So they knew how to run it. And this is what they do. They make very elaborate. If they put their mind to doing something legal, they could probably cure cancer. But instead, they use their abilities for crime, for bad. After a December 2025 search warrant was executed, Bibi, Siddiqui, and Ali tried to cover their tracks by telling staff to get new phones and delete their data. And each one of the so-called marketers manages a group of about 30 to 50 what they call patients. So all these people are in on it. It's crazy. Also, through his affiliation with a different group called the American Pakistani Public Affairs Committee, Siddiqui got unprecedented access to some of the state's top Democrats, including hosting a fundraiser for the one and only Letitia James in June of 22 at a restaurant in Coney Island. So, of course, they turn a blind eye to all of this. right? They turn a blind eye because somehow that money is going to make its way back into their pockets, and they don't ask. It's a legit campaign donation. Who did it come from? Well, but it's a legit campaign donation. So they don't ask. They don't ask. I don't ask. You don't tell. And that's how it goes. All right, I forgot to talk about Obama's library because it kind of got off on a tangent. But we will talk about that because now there's a problem with that. Everything's a game. Everything's a con. Everything is a con. And we need to bring back shame, in my humble opinion. I think we need to bring back shame because I think bringing back shame would solve a lot of problems. Because people just don't care. We were talking earlier off air, Justin and I were talking. I don't know if you've seen it on X, but there's a video of a woman who is an Amazon delivery person. She's got a little Amazon vest on, she's got a vest on, and she's got to leave a package. So she comes in the driveway and then just drives across the lawn directly to the front door. Doesn't care, doesn't think two wits about it, drives right up, parks the car on the front lawn, and it was a beautiful front lawn. It's beautiful. And gets out, throws the package on the front porch, gets back in, pulls a K-turn in the middle of this beautiful front lawn, drives back out, and then just right out of the end of the driveway to get back on the road. She could have just driven right up the driveway, but no, did that. Because people are entitled. Because the only thing that's going to happen to her, she's going to get fired. That's it. And they don't care. She's not going to get arrested for destroying that person's beautiful lawn, which is probably now going to cost money to repair. Nothing's going to happen. So the concept of shame, like make them famous and put their pictures out there, they don't care. They double down. People nowadays especially don't just double down. There's no sense of belonging or behavior in a community anymore. So that ties in with what I'm going to tell you about the Obama Center. All right. So because it's not a library. So that's what we're finding out now. So it started out, it's going to be a library. And then like little things were tweaked here and there. And suddenly it's not a library anymore. It's the Obama Center. And I'll tell you why and what they're doing. Besides it being ugly. Oh, and Obama's got a problem. One that they accuse Trump of all the time suddenly rears its ugly head. But it's okay because Obama's a Democrat. Ah, double standards. All right, more coming up. You're listening to 1210 WPHT.
A plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
The events of September 11th changed our nation forever. As we approach the 25th anniversary, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT is looking to hear directly from those who experienced that day firsthand. Were you a first responder who answered the call on September 11th? Were you in New York City, Washington, or near Shanksville? Share your story as part of our special 25th anniversary broadcast, 9/11 Through the Eyes of, a collection of personal memories, reflections, and experiences from those whose lives were forever changed. If you have a first-hand account and would like to be considered for an interview, visit 1210WPHT.com. Let's remember, honor, and preserve them for future generations. Go to 1210WPHT.com.
Eczema, eczema, eczema. So many ads for eczema products. But those fancy TV ads don't mention that those prescription products can cost thousands of dollars. There's a smarter way. It's Exoderm for eczema and dermatitis. Exoderm costs less than $20. Yep, less than $20. You don't need a prescription, and it's available on the first aid aisle of your local store. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean, hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives or nasty chemicals. Exoderm, fast, effective relief from the itching and inflammation of eczema. This stuff really does work. Take back control. Heal eczema flares with soothing Exoderm Flare Control Cream. It's on the first aid aisle of your local drugstore, supermarket, and at Target and Walmart too. Exoderm for eczema. Now that's smart.
Looking for an auto repair shop you can actually trust? McCullough's Auto Repair has been serving Delco since 1999. They believe honesty, fairness, and friendly service still matter. Chuck and Ralph run the place. No matter your car's issue, they'll explain it in plain English and help you decide what really needs to be done now and what can wait. Chuck's motto is, I'll never steer you wrong. Call McCullough's at 610-446-1230 and ask for Chuck or Ralph, or visit McCullough'sAutoRepair.com.
It's the final seconds of the match and the world is watching. He's lining up the shot. The crowd is on their feet. Whoa, wait, that's not the goal. That's a gas line. Ooh, red card. Before you dig in your yard, make the smart play and call 811 to have underground utility lines marked. Contact 811 before you dig, because hitting a gas line is definitely a penalty. Visit PA1call.org.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
The biggest worries for CEOs are cyber threats, geopolitical instability, and artificial intelligence, according to the Conference Board's CEO Confidence Survey. 2 out of 3 CEOs ranked cybersecurity as a high-impact concern in the second quarter, up from a little more than half in the first quarter. Concerns related to AI and emerging technologies declined slightly to 57%. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
If not me, then who? This ethos is driving the Travis Manion Foundation to empower veterans and families of fallen heroes to develop character in future generations. In 2007, Marine First Lieutenant Travis Manion was killed in Iraq while saving his wounded teammates. Travis's legacy lives on in the 5 words he spoke before leaving for his final deployment. If not me, then who? Guided by this mantra, veterans are continuing their service, developing strong relationships within their own community, and thriving in their post-military lives. Visit travismanion.org.
For almost 10 years, I've been a lineman for the power company. I know that service is important. That's why I also serve in the Coast Guard Reserve. Our crews respond to rising floodwaters in the Midwest, oil spills in the Gulf of Mexico, and disasters like the Haiti earthquake. The Coast Guard Reserve is a challenge I gladly take on because my country needs me.
If you were born ready, learn more at gocoastguard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Oh, I like this. This is a nice little lead-in. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Justin. I'm Mary Walter. How are you? You had to put up with me Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm in for Dom. So, for those of you who don't like it, like Luke. Luke, your worst nightmare. I'm in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for Dom. Some more breaking news. All right. You know that plot that was targeting the UFC Freedom 250 event in Washington, D.C.? Court documents were unsealed today in the Western District of Missouri, and the FBI has identified yet an additional suspect. The newly unsealed criminal complaint names a Missouri defendant named Jordan W. Rinker as an alleged member of the conspiracy. So now we have 6 publicly identified defendants. 5 were charged just, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, with the alleged plot. This was the plot that using the drones with explosives, etc., and then the second wave and all this stuff. It is, I mean, if you look at the pictures, although I mean, how good is anybody's mugshot? Except for Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the only person who can have a mugshot that is frameable. You know what I mean? Like, he's the only one. And there's a website. There's a website. It's not Smoking Gun. I think it's Smoking Gun. And they have the collection of like really hilarious web mugshots. It's great. I feel bad for the 19-year-old kid who like graduated high school and then just got arrested like the next day. I feel bad for him because the dude, supposedly 19 years old, he looks like he's at least 35 years old. Bald. I mean, school had to be rough for him. Like it's tough to be bald at 19. Like that's hard. I feel for guys because losing hair not an easy thing to go through, and women go through it too. I think it's harder for a woman than it is for a man because a man could just shave his head bald, right? So this dude probably could and should have just shaved his head bald, but life. I can't imagine that high school was easy for him. According to the newly unsealed complaint, members of the conspiracy allegedly agreed to commit murder on the White House grounds and surrounding area during the UFC Freedom 250 event. The complaint alleges the conspiracy operated from approximately March through June, so it didn't take long. And again, the parents of that 19-year-old are the ones who sounded the alarm. And for once, we had parents who, before it happened, called the police to say something's not right. Something's going on with my kid. I think there's something going on, and we need to, you got to look into this. That's how it happened. Instead of afterwards going, yeah, he quit his job and he was meeting with some friends he met online and blah 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 blah. They stopped it beforehand. Can you imagine if they hadn't been stopped beforehand? I don't know if they would have pulled it off, but imagine if they had. It would have been horrific. All right, if you want to jump in, 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210, or tag me in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio. I'll try to get to your posts. And I know a lot of people, everybody was saying that television's gone down. So if Comcast TV is down. And so I turned my TV on, and it was down. Nothing was happening. So there you go. Which is good, because after this I'm done. I just have a meeting at 8:00, and so after this I'm done. So I won't be missing any TV, at least. So there's that. All right. Frank in Burlington wants to. He just want to say hi. All right. Let's see what happens here. Frank, welcome. You're on 1210 WPHT. How are you, Frank?
Hi, Mary. Really good. I always enjoy it when you're on. Everything that you talk about with the Democratic Party is true, but if you look, and I don't want to paint a broad brush picture because I'm sure there are some moral Democrats where I'm not sure, but but historically, that party has always lacked any moral foundation. I mean, you go all the way back. You want to go to slavery, KKK, segregation, abortion, euthanasia, child mutilation. Supporting criminals. Please give me one side of any issue where they pick the moral side that's kind of more aligned with Christian belief. Please tell me.
Yeah, I don't know. And I say it, I'm starting to say it a lot because I've tried to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I don't want to be judging is just a bad thing. I always say, judge up to God. Like that's his thing, but if you're a good person, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican or whatever your religion is. If you're a good person, I'm down with that. But more and more that I hear about all of these things that I just went through with all of the fraud, right? It always goes back to Democrats. They're a criminal enterprise. When are we going to start realizing that they are a criminal enterprise and we need to treat them as such? And Republicans, in the meantime, are skipping along with their baskets and they just keep giving the big bad wolf their lunch every day. Like they're oblivious to it.
Right, and what you say about no judgment, I agree with that on the personal level, but we are allowed to discern, as far as the direction of a party. So anyway, thanks, Mary, for answering.
Thank you for joining me. That was a really pleasant call. Be careful driving. It's raining really hard in some places, so be careful, all right? Thanks so much, Frank. That was really nice. I was waiting for him to go after me the way Luke did. Luke. You can discern. And I always say, like, if someone's a good person, I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what you believe. It just doesn't matter to me. You do you. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. Until your actions start to affect me, I'm all right. I'm good. But it ends there. But you do have to use discernment, as Frank said, in order to get to that point, right? All right, so let's go to the Obama Center. Gotta get back. I gotta do this. So it costs $1 billion. $1 billion. But critics are saying what the public thinks is a library is not a library. Let's play off of what Frank was just talking about. It's going to function as the headquarters of Barack Obama's private foundation, which promotes his worldview to future generations. Every other modern presidential library houses the former commander-in-chief's papers for public viewing. But the Obama Presidential Center, they ain't doing that. His records are being stored elsewhere, but digital versions may be available there one day. Someday, maybe, they'll have the digital versions available. At its core, the center serves two purposes: a museum dedicated to Obama's presidency and the headquarters of the Obama Foundation, which is a private nonprofit organization. It's a little over 19 acres in a park, in a public park, and it will host various leadership programs, while spaces there include a Democracy in Action Lab, conference facilities, foundation offices, and a major athletic complex designed for youth sports and community programs, which you don't typically see in a presidential library. Around the perimeter are signs that read, "Bring change home," and "A home for action." The Foundation's 2024 annual report reads, "We are building more than a campus. We are creating a living institution that will inspire, empower, and connect the next generation of leaders." As of 2021, the center had already cost over $800 million, and it's believed to have gone past the $1 billion mark. So it is the largest, and it is the most expensive. A presidential historian named Tevi Troy who used to work in the Bush administration, told Fox News Digital, "Usually these libraries are a monument to a presidency, and the presidency is in the past. It's in the rear view. But this looks like Obama wants to use it as some kind of activism center, something that continues to promote his ideas and his political views." Now, this is important. I'll tell you why. Hang in there, okay? All right? "We designed this center not to be some lifeless mausoleum," Obama said, while he was highlighting Obama Foundation leaders from around the world. This was at the opening ceremonies. Among them was a Polish human rights lawyer behind more than 30 lawsuits involving refugees, climate policy, LGBTQ rights, and anti-discrimination litigation. This is who they're honoring in Obama's library, which has nothing to do with President Obama. But it's not a library, and that's the key. Obama said this center is devoted to lifting up their stories, giving them tools and support they need to expand their impact. While we are nonpartisan, we are not value neutral. We have a point of view. So here's the thing. There was a big pushback from the local community because this is in a public park. So they didn't want this taken, 19 acres of Jackson Park, which is this is apparently the equivalent, their version of Central Park, all right? So imagine taking 19 acres of Central Park and putting Trump's presidential library in it. And they got a 99-year agreement, and they only had to pay $10 for it. That's it. $10. for 99 years. Now, opponents to this argued that transferring public parkland to a private foundation violates the public trust doctrine, which is a legal principle intended to preserve public assets for the public benefit. But what they basically did, because this is supposed to be a library, so it's a library that everybody can go in. It's open to the public. No, it's not a library, and you need ID to get in. So none of the poor people, those poor people and all those black people in Chicago can't even get in here because you need ID to get in. But what they did was a little bait and switch, and they did it very gradually. A New York University law professor was part of lawsuits against this happening, and he is considered one of the nation's biggest expert on the public trust doctrine. And he represented a local group, Protect Our Parks group. He said, when we were defeated in the courts, we weren't told that we were wrong on the merits. We were just told that we didn't have any right to bring the complaint. He said the courts never fully examined whether the foundation had sufficient financial safeguards in place before receiving control of the site. They had promised they were supposed to have a $470 million reserve fund intended to shield taxpayers from any future liabilities. So, God forbid somebody falls from a window. I don't know, are there windows? I haven't seen a window in it, but assuming that there's one somewhere, if somebody falls out of it and, gets hurt, or somebody falls down, 14 flights of stairs and gets hurt, they can sue. So there's supposed to be a $470 million reserve fund, but an investigation found that there's only $1 million in the fund. Hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars were spent on the surrounding road, on utility improvements, transportation improvements, all tied to the project. The upgrades but supporters say, well, that modernized the whole area, but opponents say they were done to serve a privately run institution. This is not a library. It's being called the Democratic headquarters on the South Side. It's the home base for the foundation and everything it does. It's not just a museum. They're not going to go and pay rent somewhere else when they're going to have this big mausoleum here to go and hold their meetings and plot their plans. Now, NARA, the National Archives, has oversight on all presidential libraries except this, because it's entirely operated by the Obama Foundation and sits outside the federal presidential library system. They do include a branch of the Chicago Public Library in there. So in other words, they just made little tweaks here and there, more and more and more, and eventually morphed from a presidential library, which doesn't house the presidential papers as traditionally happens, to they got a sweetheart deal for 19 acres for $10, and they're going to basically run the Democrat Party headquarters out of there. It's the Obama organization, it's the Obama Foundation is being run out of there. Again, always, always, always comes back to Democrats, and it always involves something fishy. Now, got to take a quick break. But on top of it, there's more to the story. There's more to this. And it involves something very interesting that the Democrats always accused Trump of, but it turns out, maybe the Obamas are guilty of this, and it's not making any news at all. And I'll tell you what it is coming up. You're listening to 1210 WPHT.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers. And on the sidelines, we cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, this is Larry Steinis with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers. And on the sidelines, we cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Bring on the fun and bring home a new Honda with a great deal on your favorite Honda vehicles. And finally, take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2026 KBB.com Best Value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.49% APR on a 2026 HR-V.
Visit Piazza Hyundai of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield today.
See dealer for financing details. Based on 2026 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
While the sun's out and the summer's in full swing, Kitchen Magic wants to help you fall back in love with your kitchen. We've been a family-owned business right here in Nazareth since 1979. And for over 45 years, quality and craftsmanship have been our promise. This summer only, 40% off installation with flexible financing options for every budget. Don't wait for someday. Visit kitchenmagic.com and let's build something beautiful together.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
And welcome back. I'm Mary Walter. So we're talking about the Obama Center. It's not a library, and the little game they played to get over on the people of Chicago. And listen, He's one of theirs, right? That's his adopted town, so that's where she's from. And they went back home, and the people who live in that area got the short end of the stick. Their park lost 19 acres, and they ain't no library to go to. Well, there's a branch of the library inside the Obama Center, which is not a presidential library. It's the Obama Center, but you need an ID to get in. So, joke's on you. Can't go to the library. All right, but here's part of the problem. Are you ready? Oh, I have other breaking news too. There's a lot of breaking news, but I guess that's good. All right. A Fox News Digital investigation identified multiple construction firms that are claiming losses ranging from hundreds of thousands of dollars to tens of millions of dollars from not being paid for putting together the Death Star in that Chicago park. The allegations cut against one of the center's defining goals. What they did, they wanted minority-owned businesses, got preference, because that's not racist at all, and local contractors, and they wanted to help them grow through one of Chicago's largest high-profile construction projects. Now, several of the complaints reviewed by Fox News Digital come from firms that were supposed to benefit from that. Adamson Plumbing, whose owner Mike Owen says he's nearly $4 million in the red after years of work on the project. That is a hole that no subcontractor or small business can survive. Subcontractor owners interviewed by Fox News Digital described what they characterized as a chaotic work environment that had repeated design changes, rework, scheduling disruptions, extensive oversight, and years-long compensation disputes that still remain unresolved. Several also described what they viewed as a wall of silence surrounding the project. Some declined to speak. Listen, some of these people would not speak publicly, so they would only tell the story, but you can't use the name of my company. Or they requested anonymity because they had confidentiality agreements that they signed to work on it, or fears of professional retaliation. Fears of professional retaliation. What are they afraid of? I haven't had 8 hours or 6 hours of sleep in over a year, Owen said. I'm cooked emotionally. I feel like an aluminum can that's been thrown in front of a steamroller. We're crushed, and I have to fight for my company and for my people. It was kind of hard seeing some local and national celebrities high-fiving and backslapping here about the work that's been done. His company is not minority-owned, but he said he decided to speak publicly only after months of failed efforts to recover losses attributed to the project. As for me and my company, I'm at the end of my rope, and I see no other choice than to have to tell my story. This is not to embarrass anybody, but this is just to make sure that the truth gets told out here of what has happened to the companies that poured their heart and soul into getting this job complete and operational. He said, now if you're a contractor, you're going to love this. Unnecessary rework, delays, and more than 100 change order requests left his company absorbing millions of dollars in additional costs. The Obama Foundation told Fox News Digital that it paid Lakeside Alliance as the project's construction manager, and that Lakeside was responsible for hiring, managing, and paying subcontractors working on the project. So they hired one big company, and then they hired all the subs: electrical, plumbing, tiling, this, that, the masons, all that stuff. The Obama Foundation also said it has no outstanding disputed charges with Lakeside Alliance, that it's a joint venture involving multiple construction companies, like I just said there, and no contractual relationship with the subcontractors. Okay, that happens. That's common. Lakeside Alliance said projects of this scale are inherently complex and that outstanding project matters often continue long after construction ends. The Alliance said approximately 475 contractors worked on the project, generating significant opportunities for local tradespeople and businesses. Yes, but if you don't pay them, how much of an opportunity is that? Here's an opportunity to go bankrupt. Neither Lakeside Alliance nor the Obama Foundation directly disputed allegations from some contractors that they incurred losses. Now, advocates for black subcontractor firms, why do we have to base everything on race? Why can't we just have subcontractors? As long as you're good, I don't care whether you're black, white, purple, brown, whatever. Why are we constantly dividing on race? They say that those companies have been muzzled by a non-disclosure agreement and a reluctance to speak out publicly because of the prestige surrounding the project, because you're working for the Obamas, because Obama's black, so yay. They're scared to death about talking about it, according to Omar Sharif, who is the president of the African American Contractors Association. He said, I've never seen this happen since I've been in business. The building looks nice, but the fact does matter that they're not paying our damn contractors. He said several black subcontractor owners began privately approaching him about 6 months ago, claiming significant losses tied directly to the project, and they're planning on staging a protest outside the center on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So they're going to go public. Some of the people have put their mortgages up. They're going to lose their bonding. They're going to lose their relationship with their supplier as well as their banker. So do you remember when everybody was saying, oh, Donald Trump doesn't pay his contractors. He's a terrible businessman. He's a liar. He should never be president. All of a sudden, nobody cares about that anymore. It's kind of weird. It's weird how that doesn't matter. And they had no... And the whole thing with Trump is a whole other story because I know somebody who worked for him. But anyway, I digress. And coming up, we actually have a guest. Anthony Esposito, founder and CEO of Ascalon 6 Capital, will be joining us. We're going to talk about the oil and the price of gas and all that good stuff. Coming up next on 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Low testosterone doesn't just affect libido. It can quietly drain energy, endurance, and confidence before most men realize what's happening. You start feeling it everywhere, in the gym, on the stairs, even how you move through the day. That's why Rescue created 2 powerful formulas for ultimate male vitality, both available this Men's Health Month as buy one, get 2 more completely free. Prime RX promotes healthy testosterone levels, stamina, strength, and focus, while ActiFlex supports flexible joints and muscle recovery so movement and performance feel natural again. Go to res-q.com, use the code FEELSTRONG to buy 1 bottle of Prime RX or ActiFlex and get 2 more completely free. Or call a product consultant, 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Move stronger, recover faster, shop online, and get 2 free bottles at res-q.com. Use that code FEELSTRONG.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is going to help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
Vision loss doesn't define us.
And we are here to let those challenged with blinding retinal diseases know
that together we are stronger.
We are the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Join the fight at fightingblindness.org.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. Peace negotiations between the U.S. and Iran remain fragile, but both sides say progress was made on the first round of talks. The U.S. government also issued a 60-day waiver for sanctions on Iranian oil, and talks now shift to Iran's nuclear program.
Vice President Vance announced in Switzerland earlier Monday that Iran agreed to let international nuclear inspectors into the country. Now, President Trump is weighing in, writing on social media that Iran will have to, quote, agree to have major weapons inspections in order to ensure nuclear honesty long into the future. Inspections were included in the nuclear agreement reached with Iran during the Obama administration in 2015. President Trump pulled the U.S. out of that during his first term, and Iran then began limiting inspections. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
More fallout over the multi-million-dollar renovation of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. In addition to an algae problem, President Trump, without evidence, is blaming vandalism for the peeling blue paint. He says repairs will begin this week. Powerhouse producer and record executive Clive Davis has died. He's credited with discovering and nurturing some of the biggest musical icons over the past 60 years. ABC's David Packer has more.
Clive Davis was once dubbed the music executive with the Midas touch for finding talent during his time at CBS Records and then with his own company, Arista Records. In a 2013 interview, Davis talked about his greatest find, Whitney Houston.
We had 7 number ones in a row. Our first album sold 22 million around the world.
Davis's catalog of artists besides Houston include Aretha Franklin, Earth, Wind & Fire, Barry Manilow, Billy Joel, and Jennifer Hudson. Clive Davis was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2000 in the non-performers category.
Bruce Springsteen says Davis changed his life at the age of 22, signing him to Columbia Records. The boss called Davis a great man. Clive Davis was 94. His family says he died from age-related illness. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the Secret War on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight, starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now with more news, here's Michelle Franzen.
Federal subpoenas linked to the Trump administration's immigration surge in Minnesota have now been thrown out.
A federal judge on Monday tossed out multiple Justice Department subpoenas that were issued back in January to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and other officials tied to a federal investigation regarding the state's cooperation with immigration enforcement. Patrick Schiltz, the chief judge of the Minnesota Federal District Court, found that the subpoenas were part of a campaign to retaliate and pressure state officials who resisted cooperating with immigration and customs enforcement officers. The federal probe was announced against the backdrop of the Trump administration's aggressive surge in Minnesota that drew widespread protests and led to the deaths of 2 American citizens. Alex Mallon, ABC News, Washington.
In Southern California, fire crews continuing to battle flare-ups of the massive warehouse fire in Boyle Heights in East LA. It's been burning since Wednesday. ABC's Melissa Don has more.
Unhealthy air quality in parts of Los Angeles, and all of this is due to this massive warehouse fire that is burning. It has been smoldering for days now, and now a state of emergency has been declared. We can see those smoke and plumes from miles and miles away. LA officials handing out masks and air purifiers to people because we are talking about 85 million pounds of food that is decaying and burning. Officials say that this could possibly burn for weeks.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WPHT, WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of non-stop talk from Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And welcome back. I'm Mary Walter with you on 1210 WPHT. And we have a guest joining us, Anthony Esposito. He is the founder and CEO of Ascalon 6 Capital. You can find his smiling face also on CNN, Fox Business, Newsmax, and CNBC. And you can follow him on X at CMT_Anthony over on X. Thank you so much for joining me. It is an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much for having me.
So good news, right? Price of gas going down. I know it's under $4 in the People's Socialist Republic of New Jersey, where they pump it for you, and so it's going down. And now we're here in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump was just saying the Strait of Hormuz is open. So good news all the way around, right?
It seems to be. This is a pretty complicated issue, and I think the one thing that we need to realize is the strait is potentially open. We'll wait for the next headline, which the headlines seem to shift moment to moment. But if the strait is open and if crude is actually moving through the strait along with other, chemicals and supply chain products, that's a good thing. But the traffic is very slow. I think infrastructure in the Middle East has been damaged. Refineries are low. Strategic reserves are low. So we're definitely looking at a situation where the strait being open is good, but there is going to be a lag as far as just how long crude can get to its destination, how long it'll take for ships to come in, refill, and get back out. And then as far as a lag also in infrastructure rebuild and the refilling of reserves, whether they're sovereign strategic reserves or corporate reserves like a Chevron or an ExxonMobil. The super majors are talking about how low their levels are. It gets pretty complicated. So a good step, a good move, definitely a step in the right direction. But I think there's a lot more to this than what we're talking about at the moment.
Okay. So then if it takes a lot to get things to where it needs to be, and there's all these moving parts, how come the gas prices dropped so rapidly and so, right away?
So we can see that the refined products are coming in, and they're able to drop the price at the pump quicker than they normally would, or quicker than we expected. But what I think is going to happen is partly where we're looking at a shift from supply destruction to demand destruction. Right? And then we're looking at the price of crude dropping. So then there's a crack spread between the price of crude and the price of gasoline. So as that price of crude comes down, they're dropping the price at the pump for the newly refined products. But I guess my point is, as we move through the process, we may not have crude as low now as it will be in a month from now. There is the potential that there is going to be a shift back up in the price of crude, that essentially the floor for crude has lifted. And until we get back on track, which may be months away, we're going to see some volatility in the price of crude, and we'll see some volatility at the pump. But for now, as crude comes down, we're going to see gasoline come down, and that's a good thing. I know we were up over $4.50 as a national average, and that was down to $2.90 under Trump originally before the Iranian conflict. So To see it back around 390, 395 is a good thing. I'm just not sure that we're going to hang there. I think there's going to be some volatility in price until everything kind of settles out. And in my view, that's not going to be for, let's call it 3 to 6 months at a minimum.
So how much, if Trump can't get this down and can't get it settled like below, like say down even like 350, right? And get it in there by the midterms, I mean, how much of a problem is this for the Republicans?
Look, I think that most Trump voters, most conservative Americans are willing to kind of bite the bullet as far as the prices at the pump, as long as we've accomplished something. And I think that that's kind of the pickle that President Trump is in right now, right? We want to make sure that what we did was done for a reason, and then we want to fix it as quickly as possible. What we don't want to do is try and fix it as quickly as possible and not get done while we were there and not have a result of the conflict.
Right.
And I think that for me is the bigger question, just as an American, not as a hedge fund trader. I think midterms are going to be. I think he'll have the support in the midterms. To be honest with you, I think the Republicans will have support in the midterms, and not to shift gears, but what the Republicans need to do is keep on the campaign promise and the things that we're looking for. Number one for me would not be an extra 30 or 40 cents at the pump, although it hurts. It would be something like the SAVE Act. I want to make sure that our elections are secure. I want to make sure that my children are safe. I want to make sure that my future is fair. Keeping the border secure, keeping with the deportation of illegals. Like, these are the things that I think the midterms will be about. I think the Democrats have really exploded and jumped on the price at the pump, although shockingly they did not when Biden was in office, but that's another story. I think they're jumping on what they can to make the midterm seem like it's a lost cause. I'm not sure that it is. Not over the price of gasoline.
Yeah, no, well, it's let's face it, we all know it's news. It's not news, it's propaganda. And so that's why there's not, we were being told the president has no control over the price of gas when Joe Biden was in office. And we were told it's really not that bad. But now, of course, because of Trump. I want to ask you, okay, going back to Iran, we know that they had on Cargo Island, they have all of the overflow tanks, the storage tanks, right, where they store all this stuff. And if those got full all the way, they were in a big They were in trouble, because then it sits dormant and it just deteriorates the equipment and all this other stuff. What about all that? Can't we just get that out quick, and get that where it needs to go and start emptying that out?
I think we could. I think they were already moving. They had rails in motion, as far as what I heard and read. They had rails in motion which were moving excess crude out. They had different avenues where they were moving crude, which we eventually shut off. So if there's crude available in Iran, that's fine. We can move that crude out. I think that there's crude available. We just need to get the tracks open and get the pathway open and make sure that we can be consistent in what's going on in the Strait and then what's going on around the world. You have to, but remember that a lot of the crude that's been used and shipped, and in particular crude that's been shipped from the U.S., right, that came from our strategic reserves. That was not crude being freshly pumped in the United States of America. That was crude which we already had on reserve, and then we shipped out to the globe to kind of keep prices down. So we have a replacement issue here as far as crude. There's only so much that can be produced per day. So say there's 100 million barrels per day of total liquids, and 85 million of that is crude. The U.S. is producing about 13 million barrels per day, and that's almost max capacity for us. Iran producing 2 million barrels per day. So you need to refill all of the stopgaps that have been used, and that's going to be a draw on supply as well. So there's a process of, even if we got that crude directly out from Cargo Island, there's a process of replacement that I don't know that everyone is looking at close enough.
Interesting. Okay. Because let's face it, the average American, most of us, all I know is how much I pay for it when I go to fill my car up. And I notice that it goes up faster than it comes down. I noticed that too. I don't know why. Well,
Always.
because they got to pay for the stuff that's in the ground already, because that's what it costs. But in all honesty, I'm annoyed that and my husband knows this. I'm annoyed that I actually have to go have the car filled up. Like, to me, that's just why. Why do I have to do this? It's just a chore for me. Even though they pump it for me, it's the one benefit I get living in the People's Socialist Republic of New Jersey is they pump my gas. So it's the one thing I have. But it's annoying. But that's what I see. People see that number on a daily basis. Even if you're not getting your car filled up, you're driving past it. I don't see the price of chicken on a daily basis, but that I see on a daily basis. So that's why I think it has a big psychological effect on the American psyche. And let's face it, all around the world, you see it everywhere. Just driving down the road, you see the price. So that's why I am worried about the midterms with that. Now, I want to go to Venezuela. I think one of us had mentioned Venezuela. The president was talking about Venezuela in a press conference today because he was signing a bunch of executive orders, and he cannot resist talking to the press. So he was taking questions, and of course it goes to Iran, and then it went to oil, and it went to Venezuela. And I want to talk about this. Here's the president.
Venezuela, by the way, has been amazing. We are really having a great relationship with that country, taking out tremendous amounts of oil, far, far more than that particular war cost, many, many times, sending it to Houston, sending it to Louisiana, sending it to lots of places. And Venezuela is also doing well. Venezuela is doing better than it's done in maybe ever. So it's been an amazing situation. Where did you ever hear of getting money back from the war by 42 times over, right, Pete? Nobody does that. And I think Iran, I can say on a sort of a different scale, is in its own way working out very well. Maybe it's hard to say just as well, but maybe almost just as well.
Yeah, so Venezuela has been very quiet. Ever since we went in, got their leader, and we're out in like 36 seconds. They've been very, very quiet, and things seems to have settled down there quite a bit. Is that the goal? Is that what the ultimate goal is to see with Iran, or is the relationship with Iran going to be different? Right now, Venezuela oil comes right into the Gulf of America. Is it going to be a different situation with Iran?
Absolutely. I think the move into Venezuela was very strategic. It was part of creating, some security and some lockdown on the Western Hemisphere, along with removing a dictator that was not friendly to the U.S., who, by the way, was friendly to Iran. So we wanted to lock down the Western Hemisphere, and then we have a producer of crude in Venezuela where infrastructure was falling apart, but there was the potential to pump, 2 to 3 million barrels per day. They're producing 1 million barrels per day now. I think that the relationship there will be tighter, and the relationship there will probably grow. Whereas the relationship with Iran, I don't think anyone is expecting, nor should they, and if they are, they're probably going to be proven very wrong, to expect to have a good international trade and friendly, open relationship with Iran. Iran is a terrorist regime. It's an Islamic extremist regime, and there is a huge difference between the United States dealing with a country like Venezuela and evolving the relationship versus dealing with Iran and controlling the relationship.
So I've been, it's a weird neighborhood, right? Like that neighborhood is way different than the South American neighborhood, right? And I've been saying this for a while, and I would like full credit for it when it happens. But I keep saying that when they finally sign this final deal with Iran and they get all the ducks in a row and everything happens, you're going to see Saudi and all the other countries in that neighborhood sign on to the Abraham Accords. I likened it to an HOA. It's an HOA. And when you get the guy down, you got that one neighbor. And Iran's the one neighbor, and nobody likes the one neighbor. If you have an HOA, Abraham Accords, you can control that one neighbor a little bit better, especially when Trump is using peace through prosperity. They know, they're all smart enough to know that they're better off if they're all on the same page and they keep Iran under control, because they can all wind up far more prosperous that way. What do you think? Do you think I'm crazy? Am I crazy?
No, I think it's a great analogy. I love the HOA analogy, and Iran is the neighbor. I think it's also a great way. The Abraham Accords is so interesting, right? And this entire event has been so interesting because you're bringing Arab nations along with Israel into one agreement to stand side by side. And that one neighbor could be the reason ultimately that Israel's not destroyed, but Israel actually survives as a viable neighbor in the region with Arab states. So I think it actually works. I would also go one step further and say that this has been a part of Trump's idea from the beginning, because this entire event has brought everyone to the realization that that's the guy. And not only is that the guy, but they're not the quiet bad neighbor. They're willing to shoot rockets and drones over at our infrastructure and our hotels and our airports. So we need to stand together. And if you're going to sign into the Abraham Accords, you're going to stand with Israel in the region, which I think is a positive thing. I would like to see the rhetoric between Israel and the U.S. quiet down and us going back to being strategic allies and moving towards the signing of that Abraham Accord with those additional Arab states.
Yeah. I think President Trump wants the Abraham Accords done by the time he leaves office. And the only person I firmly believe who can get it done is Donald Trump. He is the one person. I'm a fan of history, whatever you want to call it, but certain people come together at the right time in the right place in history. And I look at the taking down of the Berlin Wall, right? You had Margaret Thatcher, you had John Paul II, you had, to a certain extent, Gorbachev and Reagan. And there were the right people in power at the right time in history in order to make that happen. And I kind of look at President Trump, Netanyahu, the king of Saudi Arabia. He's younger. He's much more progressive, not in like the bad, weird, liberal, progressive Democrat way, but you know what I mean? Like he's much more open to relationships with Israel. And I look at all that and I'm like, this is the time in history. If it's going to happen, it's now. It's got to be while Trump is president, if we want that to happen. And again, I may be crazy, but that's what I think is going to happen. That's just me.
I don't think you're crazy.
Oh, thank you. You say that to all the hosts. All right. So last thing, Cuba. Let's talk about Cuba because Trump said Cuba's next. I mean, so Cuba's sitting there and they're like, oh, and I think at this point, because Cuba has nothing right now, do they even have any power anymore? Because we cut them off. China wanted to use Cuba as their base. That was going to be their foothold in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah. So Trump got rid of that. He got rid of Venezuela, of them using Venezuela. That's why, in my humble opinion, he wants Greenland. Because then it prevents them from coming across the polar, right? And so it kind of insulates the United States to a certain extent to keep China out. Cuba, absolutely. What happens with them? And I think at this point that they're kind of would be happy about it because they would like power.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed all of it. I think Venezuela, Cuba, we want to lock down the Western Hemisphere again. This is the Monroe Doctrine, and Cuba is a big part of this, right? They're so strikingly close to the shores of the United States. We cannot have enemy states setting up in Cuba, especially with the technology now versus what it was in the 70s. Like, it would be a total disaster. So I think the move to Venezuela was twofold. The crude that's in Venezuela, we're actually set to refine that crude. And then Cuba, we need to lock down Cuba, shut off their energy, essentially. We completely block them. And now that they've been isolated and they're locked down, I think we have a real position to go in and take control of Cuba, which I think we will. Greenland is super interesting to me because it actually blocks off the Asia-Russia route into the U.S., right. And it gives us the ability to build the Golden Dome over the U.S. That would be a main staging area for part of that dome. So, in my opinion, I think him going into Greenland and making those offers and trying to take that land is actually really smart. It's way beyond, you're thinking way outside of the box at that point. I know the left melts down when he says anything, and when he starts to say things that seem so outlandish, the hair goes on fire. But if you would just sit back for a second and look at what the interest for America would be in these deals, it is in our favor, and I think that it will happen. I think all of it will happen. I'm not sure he can get it done in this term only, as it's his second term, but I think that we're moving in the right direction on all of this. And I do think that Cuba is on the docket. That's coming up next once Iran is quote unquote settled. But again, I have some real doubts that the Iran being settled is anywhere near today.
Oh yeah, no, they're crazy people. It's like trying to deal with a crazy ex. You know what I mean? Right? Like you did them dirty. Okay. So, and so now they're on to you and they found the pictures. And so now they've lost their mind. And that's who Iran is at this point in the game. They've lost their mind. They found the pictures. And so they're going to slash your tires. So they're just crazy. But maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I really hope it does. And I guess in the whole Don Roe doctrine thing, Canada just becomes the 51st state. I mean, we're going to have to do something with Canada. I mean, I would like to take parts of it and leave other parts. Like, you can have the French-speaking part of it you can have.
Absolutely.
I'll take Alberta. I'll take Calgary. You know, like, there's some I want to take. But the rest, we could just let the Chinese have, right?
I don't know. It's the kind of thing with the ex, right? You don't want them, but maybe you don't want the Chinese to have them either.
You don't want them dating your best friend either? Is that what it is?
maybe. Yeah, I don't know if we want the Chinese up on the border, the northern border, but I agree with you 100%. There are areas of Canada that would love to come and we'd love to have. And then there are areas that, maybe we could just merge French-speaking Canadians with California, and we can split them off into one, and we'll keep everything else.
The problem is California is on the West Coast, the French-speaking part's on the East Coast.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's a hard thing. Anyway, well, you have been delightful. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. Anthony Esposito, founder and CEO of Ascalon 6 Capital. Follow him on X. I'm going to go do it right now. CMT_Anthony. Thank you. And I will look for your smiling face on CNN, Fox Business, Newsmax, and CNBC.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great night.
You too. Have a great rest of your week. All right. I've got some news coming. There's so much breaking news we'll get to. Also, Ilhan Omar is back in the news. Fauci. There's some stuff with Joe Biden. So I'm going to try to get to all of it. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and I'll see how much of this we can get through. All right. That's all coming up. You're listening to 1210 WPHT.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
You know what I love? American-made products, baby. That's right. It's Rich Zioli. American-made products, and that's what you get from Emmons Roofing and Siding. Owens Corning shingles are made in New Jersey. Certainteed siding made right outside of Philly. Provia windows and doors handcrafted in Ohio. And because Emmons is platinum with Owens Corning, your roof comes with a lifetime workmanship warranty. That's accountability on American-made quality from an American company right in our backyard. EmmonsRoofing.com. EmmonsRoofing.com.
Hit the road this season to watch the Birds. Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, and London. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly. The official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Pet parents, there are many sources to buy your pet food these days, but at Dogs and Cats Rule, we take special care in selecting our brands based on quality of ingredients, company transparency, and science-based nutrition. Coming into a Dogs and Cats Rule store with a dietary issue, we can help select the proper food. The best part of the visit is the shopping experience. That's Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 locations. For information online, visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
When their world isn't safe,
They need someone to notice, to wonder and worry, to be their voice. If you suspect child abuse in any way, report it. You can be their hero. Your call can change their world.
Report suspected abuse by calling 1-800-932-0313 or visit keepkidssafe.pa.gov for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
It's time to cut your old point of sale system and revolutionize your business with PDQ POS. Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ have been the industry leader for over 35 years. They offer everything from mobile POS to self-service kiosks and the best service and support in the industry. For the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available, trust PDQ POS. No matter how many locations you have, they'll build a custom solution for your business. Visit pdqpos.com.
As a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan, joining IAVA.org really helps in the transition home. It's a network of OIF and OEF vets like me who've got your back here, just like we did over there. That means when you need help navigating the GI Bill, we've got your back. And when you're dealing with the transition home, we've got your back. Or when you just want someone to share stories with, we've got your back. Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America is there for you. Join our community at IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Brought to you by IAVA and the Ad Council.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com. Now back to the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
I think that they're doing a fantastic job. Our secretary is fantastic. I think he's maybe going to go down as the best ever. And I thought J.D. Vance this morning was fantastic. I watched his news conference, and from Switzerland, he's a very smart guy. He did a great job. You know, when I look at the Democrats, I call them the Democrats. They're dumb, the Democrats. When I watched that, where one of them thought it was World War XI. She said World War XI. She meant World War II. You know about that, right? This is one of their potential leaders, Ilhan Omar, who married her brother to get into the country, by the way, illegally. But when I watch AOC have no idea on a simple question, what happened when she was over in Switzerland, which she probably never went there before, but she was. And then I watch somebody like JD or Marco. I said, what a difference. What a difference. What a difference a brain makes.
He's so unintentionally funny. And what makes it even funnier, I had not heard that, so that was cold. I did not hear that. So the laugh is totally genuine. What makes him so funny is that the left gets so mad because they don't have a sense of humor at all. Like, they have zero sense of humor. But that, what a difference a brain makes. Hilarious. And he's talking about Ilhan Omar, who married her brother, by the way, to get into the country illegally. Like, he goes off on these tangents. It's so funny. You know what he would be great? He would be a fantastic color commentator for, like, a hockey game or some, like, a game he knows nothing about. Because he thinks he knows, right? Like soccer. Like, I'm sure he doesn't know much about soccer. But have him do color commentary for something like a soccer game. I would pay to hear it. Because it would be hilarious. He's so unintentionally funny. By the way, speaking of soccer, did you see the American soccer team? After the Australia game when they won, they went after the guy scored the goal. He went over. They went to one corner. They went to one corner and they did the Trump dance, the Trump YMCA dance. That is hilarious. Oh my gosh! All right, got more on Trump. So the reflecting pool, right? they're vandalizing it, and people, don't believe that they're vandalizing it. But there's new video of this woman, and they actually have, first of all, they have the National Guard all around it, guarding this thing, right? There's apparently undercover cops or agents. I don't know what they are, but officials. Because there's this woman, and she's bending over, and she's got her hand in the in the pond. She's got her hand in the reflecting pond, whatever it is, pool. And there's a guy in this video who walks up to her, and he's just wearing like jeans and a gray shirt, and he's got a baseball cap on backwards, whatever. And he walks up to her, and she's got her hand in there, and she's bending over, and she's pulling something out or putting something in or whatever she's doing. And he walks up by her, and he takes a picture of her doing it. And whatever it is she's doing, and he starts talking to her, and then he signals over some guards to come over, and she has apparently been detained. But Trump was asked about vandals and the reflecting pool. Here we go.
He'll be a great president.
Mr. President, are the contractors who did the initial work with the reflecting pool, are they to blame for the current condition, or is it the vandals?
We had vandalism. No, vandals. We have 100, and we have I think 290, 300-foot slit right through it, probably a box cutter or a knife of some kind. Or we had people lifting up the basic, some of the, it's not a lot of damage, but we'll probably have to let the water out and refix it. They went in there with a knife. I was just told by the people over at Parks, they have 5 people are arrested and 5 people are under investigation right now. And it's a sad thing.
5 people arrested, 5 people under investigation. That would make sense. So you don't see this woman actually get arrested, but she hands something that she must have had it was in her hand, in the hand that was in the water. But seriously, what is wrong with people? I asked that question rhetorically, obviously, because they're crazy. They're just crazy. Again, go watch my podcast that we just had on Tuesday with a lot of players who are on the WPHT chat on YouTube every day. You will recognize many of them. And it is live on Tuesday evenings, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Getter, and Rumble. Just look for Mary Walter Radio. Tomorrow, it will be Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor, will be joining us. And I like to have people on who also have a good sense of humor and are personable, and I really love Doug, so he's going to be on tomorrow night. But last week, Dr. Carol Lieberman joined us, and she's known as the terrorist therapist, and she also has a program on voiceofamerica.com. But she is one of the people, because the Health and Human Services and RFK Jr., they're looking into making Trump derangement syndrome a diagnosable condition. And she's been involved, and she explained about the symptoms of TDS. And there's 3 different levels. Like there's the light one, and then there's like the middle one, and then there's like the, okay, you've lost your mind level. So there's 3 different levels of TDS, and she explained it all. It was super fascinating, super interesting, and she had a really good sense of humor. So it was a lot of fun. Now, okay. So he talked about Ilhan Omar. So now, apparently, her husband, this is the 3rd husband. This is not her brother husband. In a report, a financial report, her finances keep changing. And it's really weird. If I made these kind of mistakes, in quotes, on my IRS filings, I'd be in jail right now. I would be in prison. They came after me because I owed them $11. My father did the math wrong when I first got out of college. He was doing my tax returns, my first job, and I owed them $11. And he said, "You better pay them right away. Don't dispute it. Just write them a check." He goes, "Give them a check for $15. Don't even bother." I would be in jail. So in a financial report meant to cover 2024, she claimed that she and her husband controlled between $6 million and $30 million in assets. Between 6 and 30. That's a really big span, right? 30 million is why the hell are you working money. 6 million's like, okay, I kind of get it. Like, you're young, you still have a lot of years ahead of you. You want to retire, you want to live well, which is sad that 6 million's just kind of like, yeah, you really should still work kind of money. But 30 million is like, why the hell are you working kind of money. But they said, well, because in a recently filed 2025 report reviewed by Fox News Digital, she revised the value of her and her spouse's assets down to, at most, $125,000. How do you go from between 6 and 30, like, I don't know, somewhere in there, to, oops, my bad, 125,000? How does that happen? Taking the lower end estimate of Omar's assets as reported in the disclosures, $20,000, and comparing it against both the low and the high estimates of her debt, which is the low estimate of her debt is $30,000, high estimate's $100,000, it would leave her with negative net worth. Her husband has between $15,000 and $50,000 of credit card debt. She has a student loan balance worth between $15,000 and $50,000. She's not a millionaire. The original filing was based on incomplete information from his business accountants in good faith and deference to professional judgment. The accounting error created a misleading picture of far greater wealth. Don't you think she would have gotten that back and said, oh, this is wrong? Like, that would have been something before you sign it that you would look at and go, wait, what? 30 million? No. We're like negative. We owe money. We got nothing. Something doesn't wash here. She amended her disclosures voluntarily as soon as the discrepancy was identified. You buy that? As suggested by Omar's staffer, the major changes made between the two filing years can be attributed to different valuations being given to companies linked to her husband. A winery that in 2024 was valued between $1 million and $5 million was updated to have a value of none for 2025 and a revised 2024 disclosure. So in 2024, they said, oh, it's worth between $1 million and $5 million. And then they revised it in 2025 to say, no, it's not worth anything. What? How? I mean, I'm not good with numbers. Like, math and I are not friends. We haven't been friends since Mrs. Huff's second grade math class, but that's a story for another day. But I don't understand. It's unclear why her husband's equity in these companies reportedly dropped to zero between 2024 and 2025. A lot of questions swirling around about this woman. Why? Why don't we have answers? Why? All right. This is interesting. I have to get this out because we don't have a lot of time. We're up against the clock, and there's other things, a lot of breaking news, which is annoying. I mean, it's great, but it's annoying. But Nancy Guthrie, we have some news about Nancy Guthrie. So they got these blackmail letters that were, I guess, emails. They were sent from the same IP address. So I'm assuming they were emails. Initial messages from the sender said that Guthrie was safe but scared and agreed to return her if the family paid $4 million in Bitcoin by 5 p.m. on February 5th. They added that if the ransom was not paid by February 9th, this would increase to $6 million, quote, or else, according to Airmail, which is a digital weekly newsletter. Then they get a note from the same IP address as the other ones that they said were seemingly credible emails. And it arrived at the Guthrie's home on February 6th, all right, which was the day after it was supposed to be paid by. The ransom was supposed to be paid by. That email that said that Nancy Guthrie had been accidentally killed and offered to deliver her body back to the family for a sum of $4 million. All right, we broke it, but we'll return it to you broken, but we still want $4 million. The following day was when they posted the clip on Instagram of her brother, and her sister, remember, begging them to return their mother to them so they could celebrate with her. This is the only way we'll have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. I don't understand how they would return the body. What, are you going to drop it off at a bus stop? I don't understand how that would happen. And they accidentally killed her. But we know that there was blood coming out of the house on the front porch, right? We know about that. Which, by the way, whatever happened? They DNA tested stuff. Whatever happened to that? I mean, to be fair, I kind of hit overload on the whole Nancy Guthrie thing, like, somewhat early in this saga. Like, I was like, it was around the clock. Anybody else's mother, we wouldn't even know it happened. Maybe a little blur, but that's it. But I kind of like OD'd on Nancy Guthrie stuff, and I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be unfeeling, but it was a bit much, and I had enough. And so I stopped paying attention. And I think because people stopped paying attention, the story just kind of disappeared. Nothing was happening. It was constantly update, Anthony Gusser, update. And oh, they're looking in the woods now. Oh, their dogs are over here. It was like painstaking. And I know they wanted to put the spotlight on it. But whatever happened with the DNA? They note in this that the ransom letters show that the captor is articulate and knowledgeable about the intricacies of cryptocurrency. And they said that the fact that they apologized also suggests that the kidnapper is not a cold-hearted cartel member as they had originally feared, but rather they think it's a local opportunist. Authorities are also probing the possibility that the abductor may have had an accomplice, that masked man who was very, very bad at his job, horrifically bad at his job. Federal investigators say his attempt to remove or cover up the doorbell does not seem to align, though, with the profile of an articulate and cunning suspect. So I think it was probably like a bunch of guys who knew where she lived. I'm still going with somebody who worked on the house. Still, my money is on that. Somebody who worked on the house, knew she had a lot of money, lived alone. The old lady lives alone, that kind of thing. And were opportunists, and they did a very bad job, and they actually accidentally killed her, which we all knew was going to happen because she had medication that she had to take or she was going to die. And they didn't take the medication with them, so we knew she was going to die. So I don't think they actually killed her. I think she just died because she didn't get her medication. So, sad. It's sad news. I mean, it's a sad story all the way around. But I want to know what happened to the, whatever happened to the DNA investigation. Huh. I don't know. Maybe it came, I don't know if anybody knows, let me know, but maybe it came up and I just didn't pay attention to it because I wasn't paying attention at that point anymore. All right, almost out of here. If you want to jump in anywhere along the line, we don't have much time left. But if you want to, you're allowed to. 855-839-1210 or hit me up in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio. There's more coming up on 1210 WPHT.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary. Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Babbel proudly presents the Sheep Cheese Fiasco.
Cute market. Ooh, cheese. Let's get cheese. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Hola. Quiero una oveja pequeñita.
¿Una oveja pequeñita?
Sí.
Bueno, pues tengo como 20.
Oh, no. But they're cute.
Don't let your Spanish fool you. Avoid bringing home the farm with Babbel, the award-winning language learning app.
Can you make us some cheese, please? Oh, cheese. You're not cheese.
Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will have you speaking conversationally in as little as 3 weeks.
Yes. Oh, you're so sweet.
Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's 50% off at BABBEL.com.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
When it comes to avoiding roofing problems this summer, go with the real deal. Impriano Roofing, Siding, Windows, and Doors. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. one of the only roofing companies still run by the original family. They're the experts in the industry, no comparison. And Jack Impriano stands behind every job 100%. Experience, integrity, that's the real deal. Call 610-644-4444 for your free estimate today. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
And we're back. And I'll be back with you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm in for Dom Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is very exciting for me. I've never filled in on Dom's show before. They must be desperate. Must be scraping the bottom of the fill-in barrel. I'm really looking forward to it. And I used to work with Dan Borowski, so it'll be a real treat for me. And don't forget, a treat for you. No kidding. Tomorrow, 7:05 a.m., I will be on Wake Up America on Newsmax. And then at 9:15, I'll be on Newsmax 2, which you go to YouTube, type in Newsmax 2 Live. Just like you do when you go to PHT, you type in 1210 WPHT. Just type in Newsmax 2 Live. At 9:15, I'll be on News Now. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, also on Newsmax 2, I will be on the Todd Starnes show, usually between 5:15 or 5:30, depends on where they put us. And then tomorrow night, Doug Burns on Mary Walter Radio, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, Rumble, and Getter. Okay, so McDonald's is in the news for several reasons. One of them is delicious, but the first one, not so great. They're testing a new AI-powered drive-through technology at 5 of their locations in the U.S. It's called Arch IQ. It's Google powered. It's an AI ordering platform, and the new tech, which has a very fun name, Archie. It's called Archie. What it does is they're testing that AI will greet customers and take orders, pausing to process changes or requests before displaying the finalized order total on a screen, prompting the customer to pull ahead for pickup. So they're getting rid of the human being, right? Fine. Archie is capable of taking orders in both English and Spanish, of course, because why would we want everyone to speak English? We shouldn't be able to all understand each other. Let's keep that going. And can respond to repeat customers who ask, "Can I get my usual?" According to a franchise owner, 90% of the orders so far have been completed without human escalation. So what this is, though, is they use facial recognition and license plate readers so that if you're a frequent customer, they know what your usual order is. And so all you have to do is come up. What did you just say, Justin? Didn't hear you. Do you have a clip of this? Oh, go for it. He's good.
So imagine a future where we could recognize our customers as they drive up to the order post. Remember their ordering preferences and even recognize special moments like your birthday. So if you look at the digital menu board over here, I'll show you a prototype of what Archie could be like in the future.
Welcome back, David. May I take your order?
Thanks. Can I get my usual?
Your usual. The crispy deluxe meal and 2 cookies. Anything to go with that?
Yeah, can I see the full menu?
Sure. What would you like from the full menu?
I'll get a quarter pounder.
Without cheese, right?
Right.
Done. Anything else?
I'll also get 3 McSpicy meals.
Is that with barbecue sauce?
Okay, no.
Honey, please.
I'm not doing that.
Anything
I don't want to. First of all, I have not. Well, I had McDonald's 2 weeks before the inauguration because we had a party and for the inauguration and we catered it with McDonald's. But speaking of that, for dessert, we had the apple pies. And tomorrow, June 23rd, is the one day they are bringing back the fried hot apple pie. If you are too young to know the joy that was the fried hot apple pie, it is amazing. You will never like the regular apple pie anymore. It was unbelievable. And just don't be an idiot, because on the outside it says this is hot, and they had to stop frying them because when they come out of the fryer, if they're hot, and it's like they're the temperature of the planet Mercury when they come out of the fryer, out of the hot oil, and so people were burning the insides of their mouth. Okay, and so don't do that. But for one day, and tomorrow's my busiest day of the year, like the week, like Tuesdays is my worst day, but I'm going, and we don't have a McDonald's near us, but I'm sending the hubby out on reconnaissance to get me a hot apple pie, fried hot apple pie tomorrow. I didn't get to tell you about the pickleball felony, but maybe we'll do that on Wednesday when I'm in for Dom. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see a lot of you tomorrow on the podcast. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Andrew. Sorry. And thank you, Justin. Appreciate you guys. Bye.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or